natural area and said, go get it then. If you want it, go get it.
Can I give you a...
But seriously, if you would have taken your putter and hit him as hard as you could in the knee.
Yeah.
I think that. I mean, you don't want to hit him in the head. You probably kill him.
The head,
but you hit him in the knee, I guarantee you the situation is diffused. He ain't moving. He ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, I would have needed had a plan B at that point in case he was able to get back on one leg.
Can I give you the quote of the day from Tuscaloosa before we go to trash? This will be the one that makes all the headlines.
Has it got anything to do with Nico?
Indirectly, but no.
Okay.
Does it have? Has Kalen DeBoer commented about my putter head incident yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No. This is Emily Grace McWhorter is over there, so you'll get coverage from her. Follow us at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. You'll see this in just a little bit, the actual video of it, from Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator at Alabama. At the end of the day, if we're playing a football game tomorrow, Ty would be the starter. I know that's the quote everyone is looking for.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me at this day and age.
The timing.
People saying it out loud tells me Ryan Grubb knows Austin Mack ain't going anywhere.
Well, I mean, he knows that, but if I'm Tennessee now and I think Austin Mack's really good, I'm making a call.
But he can't start for you.
Well, we say that.
I know. He can't guarantee to start for you.
You can't guarantee it.
Yeah.
But if I'm NC State, I need a quarterback. Hey, man, you can be our starter right now.
Yeah. Or Washington, where he was once committed, or I don't know what their quarterback situation is, or go back to Washington. I think he's a California kid. Interesting times, man, because that portal opens again on Wednesday. But good for Ryan Grubb, who I'm told is great with the media. AJ's texted me, this guy's fantastic. So great sound from Ryan Grubb coming up on the show tomorrow. Right now it is time for Trash. Hit it, my man.
Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles go woo. When you want to woo, it's that woo, woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
New sport is coming to Los Angeles. Probably not one you even knew existed. Sperm racing.
Oh, wow. I had two that were really good.
Startup announced the launch of the world's first live sperm race, and you will be able to watch its inaugural edition in Los Angeles. Now, according to the
I don't want to be part of the pregame show.
Real estate media outlet Traded, the startup, simply known as Sperm Racing, nearly raised $1 million in support of their efforts to put on the world's first sperm race. Now, 4 men behind the idea, no reason to even go through them. Sperm Racing website's manifesto cites a worldwide decline in male fertility as the catalyst for the idea. Went on to say, quote, male fertility is declining like a lot, the manifesto states. It's happening quite quietly, steadily, and nobody's really talking about it.
Let's go down to Holly Row.
Thus, to raise awareness of the alarming trend, the founders are turning health into sport.
Oh, gosh.
Now, you might be wondering how exactly a sperm race works.
I am wondering that, Lance.
Well, the founders lay it out. First, microscopic racetrack for the 2 sperm samples to compete on will be constructed. Course mimics reproductive system and includes chemical signals, fluid dynamics, and synchronized starts. Every move that the sperm makes is tracked by high-resolution cameras and live stream. There will even be stats, leaderboards, and yes, instant replays. The race itself is exactly like any other. The first sperm to cross finish line wins.
That's our Nissan Drive to kickoff.
And the world's first ever sperm race will take place April 25th in a USC against UCLA style battle.
Wow, that's the same day as race day in Talladega.
Yeah. Victory Bell of sperm. I think
I'll let Talladega pick up on this one.
I think I'm the only one eligible to compete on the panel, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not going to, but I am the only one that...
Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, live show now on a Tuesday, and the moving parts on the deck in Tuscaloosa in basketball continues. The last departure, Labaron Philon, not shocking anyone. But the timing of it all may have changed the way you feel about Alabama. We'll talk basketball coming up. NBA starts its playoff run tonight with play-in games, a doubleheader. We'll talk about that. Special night last night for Alabama's women in the WNBA. We'll run by that as well. But we start with college football and something that was happening at the very end of the show yesterday when a very great with the media open offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, one of our first extended opportunities to hear from him, had an opportunity to talk quarterbacks. Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 5, he had this to say yesterday that instantly Brown says, here's the soundbite you'll hear from everybody, and this is all the way nationally. This was on CBSSports.com, ESPN.com, all over the college football landscape. Alabama's quarterback battle has been a big focal point, and here's Ryan Grubb yesterday as our show was ending.
You know, I know everybody wants to know about that position and where things are at. And I would say this, at the end of the day, if we're playing a football game tomorrow, Ty Simpson would start, and he earned that. Okay, and I know that's the line everybody's looking for, but that is what he earned. Austin Mack made huge strides. Also, available reps were the same, you know, and he did a really good job. He came out and developed, just was some of the nuances and take care of the football and things like that. Thought Ty showed out a little bit better. And then, honestly, Keelon exceeded my expectations. And by no means does that mean that we're playing a game tomorrow, you know, and I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think the message really is that, you know, we got to be even better. And the guys, you know, I know that they'll take that the right way and they understand those things, but essentially, you know, we're not going to be satisfied with the quarterback room till it's how it's supposed to be. Man, it wasn't perfect this spring. But I thought we were trending the right way the entire time. Okay, so that is said basically on the eve of the portal opening up. So let's unpack what he said there. Ty Simpson, if we play tomorrow, we don't play tomorrow, got to get better. How did he lay it out in y'all's opinion?
I think it's dangerous to do this, but I do think that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer are smart enough that they probably had Russell knows that he is the future of this program. At least that's the way it sounds to everyone. But for Austin Mack to be able to keep a quality two that knows the system, I guess you got to sit him down and say, hey, look, you're this important. You still have an opportunity to win this job. They know how to handle him internally. A little surprised that he was this candid with it. But I guess you appreciate that, respect the fact that, and if you're an Alabama fan, I guess you like that somebody is ahead of somebody else.
From what we do as a living, I appreciate the fact that he was this candid about it. I would say, you know your quarterback room, good or bad, if you're going to say this. And when I say good or bad, I mean good would be, I know my quarterback room. I know Keelon is in here, and he's dedicated. Like Lance said, he knows he's the future. He may be the present, but he's working hard towards that. He gets his spot. I know Austin. He played for us at Washington. I can be honest with him. He knows his spot. I don't fear him transferring. Or you've already been told, like, hey, listen, I'm probably out of here. I've scanned the landscape and I'm going. So you could say this. My point is, I don't think you say this without knowing 100% where your quarterback room stands. You don't throw a grenade out there and then all of a sudden somebody's like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought I was QB1. Portal's about to open. I'll go see where I can be QB1. I don't think you're that honest if you don't have a really good firm grasp of your room.
And year one for Ryan Grubb and year two for Kalen DeBoer, how important is it to get this right? I mean, if I asked you guys right now, 9-4 last year with the ups and downs of Jalen Milroe, do you think quarterback play will be better this year?
If you think better is more consistent, I would say yes. Do I think the quarterback play will rise to the level of its height at points last year, I would say no.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
So you're saying not as many highs, but fewer lows.
Well, I mean, will we have a first half like we had from Jalen Milroe against Georgia?
That's hard to replicate.
Will you have a game like you had in Baton Rouge against LSU?
Also hard to replicate.
But will you have a game like you had at
Oklahoma? Also hard to replicate.
I don't think so. I think it'll be more consistent. I think that's what you want as a coach.
So Blake Sims, consistent B. Greg McElroy, consistent B.
All you're telling me is championships there.
No.
I mean, all I'm hearing
Blake
is
Sims
SEC championships, national championships.
SEC, and he played in the playoffs, and people forget because of what happened after.
By the way,
Sims.
that would be good enough for Kalen DeBoer next year.
People forget Blake Sims finished that year as Alabama's all-time leading single-season passer. I mean, that was a record-setting year.
That was
in
dark
Alabama
ages,
football.
Brown. Dark ages.
Oh, I'm aware. I said people forget it because of what happened after. But at the time, I mean, you looked at it and you're like, I wanted to go deeper in the playoffs, but Blake Sims didn't have a terrible year.
And
I would give it a B.
I see what you're saying. I mean, look, Milroe was an A+, and Milroe was a D-.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you get any of those D- games. If you get some D- games from some of these guys, it might be really bad.
I mean, Milroe was that Disney movie. I think maybe it was Pixar. Tyler, what was that movie with all the emotions?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Okay, that was Milroe. You had on one shoulder, he was like the perfect quarterback, and then the other side, that head was blowing up, the emotion of anger because it was going so badly. And not always Jalen's fault, but he was all over the place. I think at that position, consistency can win the day for you. Consistency can win the day for you. And I feel like Alabama has some talent around them that if it's not the quarterback that does it, the other guys can help the quarterback be good.
Yeah, this was the most broken Alabama offense I can remember in a long time because it was so reliant on Jalen Milroe. I mean, when your leading rusher is Jalen Milroe with not even 750 yards on the ground, that's a problem. I do think you get back to the basics. You identify, 1, 2, 3 backs. These are the guys getting the reps. Ryan Williams, great talent. Jeremy Bernard, you can identify that third guy. I think it more is about the skill coming into this year than the quarterback.
The other thing that jumped out to me from that was how the emphasis he placed on how Ty Simpson had earned, in his mind, being QB1. And I don't want to put words in Ryan Grubb's mouth, but I don't think that's just because he's been there a long time.
That would have been an interesting follow-up. By earn, do you mean longevity?
Yeah, he's earned it because he's next man up, next in line. He's been there longer than anybody, or earned because, and this is what I suspect, because from what we've been told of Ryan Grubb, he's kind of an old school guy. He's not, this is not upward football where, Johnny has made it to practice every day and he's never caused us any trouble. Let's get him to start a game.
Yeah.
His mom brought the orange slices and the Capri Suns, so he gets to start a game. This is Alabama football we're talking about. I don't think Ryan Grubb's just going to say, the kid's been here a long time. He's QB1. I think when he says earned it, I think it's reflective of a lot of things, not the least of which is his play in the scrimmages.
But see, we never talk about this side of it, that Ty Simpson's been there the longest. And if he had not said this, is he not the most likely guy to hit the portal?
I mean, if you just flip it around, it's like, look, I knew Austin back from my Seattle days. That had nothing to do with this decision, but I think Austin is playing better football right now.
Yeah, or anything. If it's 3, it's a dead heat. If it's anything but that,
then I think Ty is probably out.
Ty's, to me, was the most likely portal entrance. If I don't go out there and say it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's untrue.
It doesn't mean it's untrue.
Yeah, no, but I see what you're saying. Like, if you were going to put odds, without Ryan Grubb ever having said that, if you're going to say, okay, give me odds on portal guys, Simpson is probably ahead of. Now, he's never shown any inclination to hitting the portal. He's had every opportunity. He's been here again. He's been here a minute.
3 years.
3 years, and guys continue to start in front of him, and he's continued to stay in the program. So the flip side of your flip side would be he's never shown any inclination to do this. But at some point, Lance, you want to start a football game if you're a quarterback.
But you don't have to be this transparent if you really don't have a starting quarterback.
You don't have to be. There was Ryan Grubb did not have to come in and name a QB1 yesterday.
I do think if you're an Alabama fan, you feel somewhat good. Well, look, we kind of thought Ty would be the guy at least months ago, and now it looks like Ryan Grubb coming in sees what we thought we would see. So, I think there is something good about the transparency here.
Yeah, I want to talk portal that opens up tomorrow, but people can jump in already. just start landing officially in places tomorrow. And concern levels and what the coaches are saying at both Alabama and Auburn. Show being brought to you by a couple of our great folks, including our friends at New Life Art. Great moments of Alabama history. You know, with the passing of Bill Oliver, before we go to New Life Art, Bill Oliver passed away again. This was at the end of our show yesterday. 1961 national champion. He was part of Bear Bryant's first recruiting class. Came in as a quarterback, played mostly defensive back his whole career. Was a national champion there. Got his first college coaching job with Shug Jordan at Auburn. Came back to Alabama in 1971. From 71 to 79 as an assistant, was with 8 SEC champions, 3 national champions, and then came back as defensive coordinator with Gene Stallings and was the 1992 national championship. His Mona Lisa, if you will, was that national championship game against Miami, Gino Toretta, where the world was saying Alabama had no chance. And I've heard Antonio Langham tell the story. You know, we barely even practice 11 men on the line of scrimmage to blitz, just chaotic blitz Gino Toretta in the lead up to the bowl game. We did it, and he basically was telling us we may do this once or twice in the game. And if you remember it, that's how they started the game. They were 11 wide.
Can you imagine if you would have, because I don't know if you guys, well, I know you do remember, but going into that game, I remember Bobby Bowden was like campaigning that they were the second best team, that Alabama should not be that team. And if you would have told people that Alabama was going to go 11 on the line of scrimmage and they were going to challenge those great skill
Lamar
guys.
Thomas, you kidding me?
Like, there's no way this Alabama defense is going to be able to hold up, and they completely dominated.
And that was the discussion, right? It was the speed of Miami, the NFL talent of Miami, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback against old grinded out Alabama. No chance they could one-on-one, man-on-man cover that team, and they killed him. It was the Bill Oliver design. At that moment in time, he was the best defensive coordinator on the planet.
Oh yeah, I don't think there was any doubt. Nobody saw that coming. And the respect, I mean, obviously this is a guy that grinded it out for years, and by the way, was an incredible player in himself when he played high school ball and collegiately.
Yeah.
But what they did that night, and more so his fingerprints on that defense, I mean, that immortalized him.
And it wasn't just that game either. Like, Alabama fans that aren't old enough to have lived through that and they watch this version of Alabama football, it would be so foreign to them to see what that 92 team was. If Oliver gave up 17 points, they were in danger of losing.
That's right.
Well, that's why I thought I never thought they would beat Miami, because I didn't think they'd be able to score on Miami.
Right.
That's right.
You know, going into the game, that was, I remember I had Miami in that game. They were minus, I think, 6 or 7.
Oh, I thought it was 9.5.
I
For
thought
some
it was-
reason, I
it
remember.
seemed I thought it was 6 or 7.
I'm kind of with Dunaway. It seems like it was almost double digits.
Yeah, I think it was 6 or 7, a long time ago, obviously. But I just remember thinking, I just don't know how Bama's going to score.
Well, they score because their defense put them on the front porch a lot, as Keith Jackson said.
Yeah.
And
Took it all the way back.
Took it all the way to the
And
end zone.
I know you were alluding to this earlier. Congratulations to Jay Barker and the Barker family.
Yeah.
But if you looked at just a snapshot of Jay Barker's, box from that night.
Yeah, what was it, 1 of 7 or something like that?
It was
I mean, like 35 yards.
32 yards
Yeah.
passing or something like that.
I mean, there's no way they could win a game.
If I'd have given you that number, you'd have said, oh, they covered this one easy.
Yeah. So the great Bill Oliver there, always remembered as one of the great defensive minds ever to do it, and a great player as a national champion as well, 85 years old, and we remember him. You can remember his great work with some of the great paintings of Daniel A. Moore, including that Gene Stallings one right next to Coach Bryant there. That's part of that national championship celebration back then with some of the great Bill Oliver defensive players. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com for the great works. Promo code is TNR there, and you can celebrate great moments in Alabama football. Also, our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, make that call. I did it over 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Todd. The next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I had the 20/200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, which only took 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, in my opinion, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Listen, I don't know why I'm worried. I guess I'm worried as a fan of say, Alabama, because the portal opens up and you never know who's going to hit it. For instance, right now, at 41 seconds ago, Adam Rittenberg has just sent this out. Adam Rittenberg says, Chattanooga long snapper Ethan Myers is entering the portal per his agents. He's a 4-year starter and 2-time all-conference selection.
Well, okay, a couple things jump out to me there.
I mean, what the hell is Adam Rittenberg doing today?
Yeah, the Adam is having to report on a long snapper in the portal, and that a long snapper has agents, plural.
Okay.
Chattanooga long snapper, Lance, it's not like Ohio State long snapper.
This is becoming NFL-like in every aspect, and great long snappers. I mean, there's a market for these guys. So this guy might make $100K from a Power 4 school.
Yep. So my point being, the portal is open. And I don't know where the concern level is for Alabama fans, but their roster is still really, really good. And the freshmen that Kalen DeBoer and his staff recruited are contributing all over the board. In fact, Forrest, I don't know if you have it yet, that Pro Football Focus graphic talking about the most top 10 returning players at each position. Alabama, according to Pro Football Focus, is on top of the nation with 9 positions there, 9 players of the top players returning in college football. Penn State, Clemson, Texas, Auburn right there in the middle of the pack on some of the best of the best. So there's still talent on that roster. Here's Kalen DeBoer on the portal opening up and what he is selling to his guys who may be looking elsewhere.
I'm proud of our guys. I think the guys that you want around you, whether it's coaches or players, they have a good head on their shoulders. They can have perspective on what they really truly have here at Alabama, and it's special, whether it's the resources that they have and the people that they have around them in the training room and the weight room. The coaching staff, I think, is elite as well. And so these guys are getting getting an experience that they should not take for granted. We can talk about the stories of guys who have come in and said how great it is here, or guys that have left and, maybe even wishing they could come back. And so, be careful what you ask for. The grass is definitely not greener on the other side. So I love our guys. I think we got a great group. They continue to push each other, hold each other accountable to a level of strain. And when I say accountable, it's not accountable just to, making sure you're here for this on time or doing this right. It's a level of strain. It's a level of edge. And I think they're really doing a much better job of that this year. Now that they're more comfortable with who we are and what we want to be.
I don't think we've talked about this, but who do you guys think will be the preseason #1 team in college football?
I think it'll be Ohio State still.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, but I was thinking about that. Ohio State, Oregon, all breaking in new quarterbacks. I was just going to bring up the fact when you showed that graphic of the 9, which led all other teams on coming back at different positions. If Nick Saban was still the coach, they might be the preseason #1 team, right?
They could be. Could be.
I don't even know. I think they're going to be the back end of the top 10.
I like in our old days when we just threw out stake bets left and right. I think I would take a stake bet.
Let's bring those back.
That Alabama's out of the top 10?
If you gave me 2-1 odds, I would take Alabama out of the top 10.
Ooh, 2-1, Lance.
Okay, we know Ohio.
That's the way I used to do it. I fell right back into it.
Texas is going to be up there too because it's
Arch Manning. I mean,
Okay,
I think it'd be
Arch Manning.
I think
guy.
it's Ohio State 1, Texas 2. In fact,
Oregon, Penn State would be in front. Georgia would be in front. That's 5.
Georgia by reputation. Penn State will be there.
I think Notre Dame will now.
Notre Dame will be
6. Clemson will be 7.
Clemson will be ahead of Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just going Alabama here. 7. I can't give you sure over that.
Now it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Now it gets crazy. I think
Alabama would. It's going to be close, but I think they're going to be top 10.
I think LSU, by what they've done in the portal, reputation-wise, and Nussmeier coming back, I think they'll be ahead.
I don't know. They didn't even finish in the top 25 last year. I don't know. Man, I feel really good that 7 teams will be in front of Bama, but after that, I don't know.
Ironically, I think probably Tennessee would have been a top 10 team.
They would have been
until the Nico thing.
Yep, I don't think they are now.
So, but I think Alabama's in that 8 to 12 transfer spot there.
This is going to be another crazy year, I think, when it comes to who rounds out the 12 spots in the college football playoff. Because I think you're going to get 2, 3, 4 teams again that you didn't going back last year to have teams like Indiana and Boise State and SMU in this thing.
Do you you sense any concern that from Alabama fans that they could lose and I'm not even saying quarterback, just a player or two that they recognize over the next few days? Or is there just so much chaos going on that if you have sound mind and body, you can't worry about all this stuff?
Well, I would recommend not worrying about it because that's not going to change anything in this era or really anywhere. I think people are just overall worried because of the system more so than they've heard a player is disgruntled or whatever. Like, I just think anymore – boy, I don't want to sound like an old man.
Do it, Brown.
I mean, we all not hold it against me if I sound like an old man.
You've done it before, and
okay.
we're still here.
That's true.
Yeah. We've loved you through it before.
I just think in a lot of ways we're raising generations now that don't persevere through difficult times. And trust me, my grandfather's generation, the greatest generation, World War II, those men and women were a heck of a lot tougher than I was.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We're getting softer by generations.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would disagree except for the younger generation.
Right. And I think anymore, the moment it gets tough, the inclination is to turn and run. And I don't know that it's an individual thing. I think it's becoming a generational thing. So I think anytime transfer portal windows open, you just fear that there's that guy that's not tough enough. But then I would say to you, if that's that guy, do you really want him on your team? Because it's going to get tough in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it's going to get tough in Neyland Stadium, and it's going to get tough at Sanford Stadium. And if there's a guy on my team that the first minute it gets tough, his inclination is to turn and run and hit the portal, I think you're probably better by subtraction there.
I have always believed that you should go to battle with people who want to be there, and for those that don't want to be there or are looking to go elsewhere, don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you.
I mean, I'm just saying if that's why they left, if I'm not getting the playing time I want, so I'm going to hit the portal, and you're like, yeah, but he's an extremely talented guy. Well, he may be, but the minute it got tough, he decided to hit the portal. What's he going to do when you're down 10 in Tiger Stadium at night and the bourbon-infused air is thick around you, and you can't hear yourself think? You think he's going to fight through that too?
Well, back to the question you kind of asked. I mean, how many guys could get into the portal that would make Alabama fans panic? Let's leave the offensive line alone.
Yeah.
I think any of those guys probably be like, oh,
Ryan
damn.
Williams is the best player in the team.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Williams is going to be the one that I would say that's like the shock 10-meter. Deontay Lawson.
Yeah,
with Campbell gone, I mean, that would be a big deal.
He's coming back. He's coming back from injury, so his availability for the start of the season. I want to see him moving and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like having without the injury, he would be gone already to the NFL.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think that there's a handful of guys that you'd be like, oh my God, like I don't know if we can survive this.
I do think there's depth in the secondary. I think it's I think the linebacker position maybe would concern me. I just can't think of one guy that jumps out at me that other than Ryan Williams that I would be.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if Mbakwe ends up who went into the portal and came out earlier.
You've actually kind of dealt with that already. I don't know that it would bother you that much.
Well, he's not playing the position I recruited him at anyway. He's now a wide receiver, and he's just one of the other guys at wide receiver. He hasn't stood out as being elite yet. If Mbakwe is in the portal all of a sudden tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to have the same feeling that I had when he was in the portal in the spring, especially now where he can't go to an SEC school. He's not going to go across the border to Ole Miss. You know what I mean?
And I do think that gives you a little comfort, is this SEC rule, which is probably why it will never get revoked unless it's challenged in a court of law and gets struck down, is as a fan of an SEC school, I look at my best players, and now where are they going to go? Like,
it's really the Big Ten.
The Big Ten. I mean, where are they going to go? And even if it's the Big Ten, it's Ohio State, Michigan, USC, maybe Penn State. Am I really going to lose them to NC State?
Yeah.
If I'm losing a guy to NC State, I'm probably not. I'm not going to sweat it that much.
That's when it softens the blow, depending on where they go.
That's right.
Yeah, you lose a guy to Ohio State, you're like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're right. NC State, you're like,
you lost Caleb Downs to Ohio State, and any Alabama fan can say what they want. That hurt. That hurt you when Caleb Downs went to Ohio State.
Yeah,
because you knew you'd seen
changing
him,
coaches. You're down without Saban.
You'd seen him be a great player, and he was going to a great institution, and you knew he's probably going to contend for a national championship. That one hurt.
And he did. He won.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Got his ring. One more thing in this opening segment from Hugh Freeze at Auburn after Brownie tells us about our friends at the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama.
You can go see the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama coming up. It is the road to the Indy 500 running right through Birmingham, Alabama. Fastest IndyCar drivers of the world, Award, Dixon, and Newgarden, put their skills to the test with one goal in mind. That goal is victory. Miss America Abby Stockard will make the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today, IndyAlabama.com.
Another winning night, Major League Baseball and Lance'sLock.com. Free play every single day. Jump on board Lance'sLock.com. $100 gets you absolutely everything for the entire month. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. They want to remind you spring weather is here. Our friends at Hemp Hill Services offering that $1,000 off new HVAC installs plus 0% financing. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there for more information. They are ready to serve you. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Here's Hugh Freeze on if Auburn is still shopping in the portal, looking for a little addition, maybe even in the quarterback room.
It's going to be difficult you're going to have that after an NFL roster, I think, eventually, and that leads to, do we go with 3 and use the extra on a big somewhere, whether it be O-line or D-line. We haven't made that final determination yet, and some of it will probably depend on what's available. I think it's probably going to be a pretty hard sell, maybe, so that's something we're still determining. But the positions, you never will turn down interior D lineman or pass rusher or some guys with experience. I really like our young linebackers. Could we use one that has some experience if one's available? Probably so. And never turn down a great cover guy either.
Yeah. A lot of stuff you end up never turning down as he kept going, right?
Well, basically, every layer of the defense.
That's right.
You don't turn down anybody because he went interior defensive line, edge,
pass rusher,
linebacker, cover guy.
Yeah, good cover guy. So, I mean, like Hugh kept talking to himself, and the guys, would never turn this down, this down, this down. Basically, if you got a great player, you're not going to turn him down.
Yeah,
but the first part of that, he was like, you almost got to approach the quarterback room now like the NFL. Okay, do we go with 3? And no more 4, 5, 6 quarterback rooms. Do we go with 3 because we've got to spend some money elsewhere?
Right. And I think that's the number most are going with right now. But, they're in a situation where this has become a big business, but you don't have a salary cap. So if you've got it, spend it.
Yeah, if you got it. That becomes the problem. Do you have it? And how do you get it? And can you keep getting it year after year after year? Because the price keeps going up. All right, that's a little portal conversation to start with. Interesting here, by the way. I saw this in reading. On3 Sports has a story with a quarterback who got into the portal. He tells On3 Sports, I got into the portal because of Auburn. From my school, I got into the portal because of Auburn. He basically says Auburn convinced me to get into the portal without saying.
Is his name Jackson Arnold?
And he ended up going to a different Power 4 school. And
so
he'll be the starter.
Oh,
yep.
Interesting.
And he will play Alabama in the opening game. Thomas Castellanos at Boston College.
Really?
It tells On3 Sports, I got in the portal because of Auburn. And he says, I was going to Auburn. And then I had a conversation with Gus Malzahn, and he sold me on Florida State. And he goes, I tear up just recounting the story of that conversation and my opportunity to be the starting quarterback at Florida State. I'll ask you this question right now. Castellanos or Jackson Arnold, who do you feel better with at Auburn?
Jackson Arnold.
I think I do too.
I think I do too. I saw Castellanos have some good moments at Boston College, but was Florida State's only win Boston College? Am I right about that? Did they beat Boston College?
I think they had.
Well, that was their only conference win, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Am I right about that? That was the game where I watched. And wasn't Castellano still with them then?
Yeah, he was.
That's before he had left the team. And against Florida, if I'm a Florida State fan, I look at that and I'm like, God, we were as bad as we've ever been last year. And we still beat that guy.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching that game thinking he would be the difference against Florida State, and he was not.
I read that, and everybody, I think when you go into the portal, football, basketball, you sort of have you don't get in the portal without knowing you're going somewhere, right? And we'll talk about Nico in the day after tomorrow, in the next segment. But when I saw Castellano said, I got in the portal because of Auburn, like I was going to Auburn, and then I had that conversation. And then I thought to myself, good on that guy, good on Hugh Freeze, that I think he got the better quarterback. I think Jackson Arnold will end up being, I believe, I hate saying I think, yeah. I believe Jackson Arnold will be the better quarterback at the end of the year.
I would agree.
Yeah. So good on Hugh for pulling that off at Auburn. All right, that's our opening segment. When we come back, I want to flip the script a little bit before you tell me about Bojangles, Brownie.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday and throughout the weekend, I reacted to the Nico Iamaleava story as a fan of football and from the Tennessee perspective. Now I want us to flip and put the hat on of, let's say we're Nick Iamaleava. We're the dad.
Coach Nick.
And we're sitting down talking to our son and we're going over as a family. Let's look at it from Nico's side when we come back, and you tell me, is there ways you could paint a scenario where you absolutely did the right thing? That's coming up. Tell us about Bojangles.
Bo Bites. That's the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. It's a Bo Bite. The only hard part, choosing from 6 dipping sauces, one for every craving. The creamy house-made ranch, the sweet spicy pepper honey. Come on, Brown.
Yeah.
The sweet and
Come on,
spicy
honey.
peach honey pepper sauce. It depends on what kind of mood you are in.
Say it fast. Peach honey pepper sauce. Peach honey pepper sauce. Peach honey pepper sauce.
I can't do it. Wow, that's pretty impressive, actually. Head to your nearest Bojangles today. Discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama-born, Alabama-raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action.
TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the show. Before, what happened?
LT just had a yard sale over here.
I know. I sort of wish we had built a second shelf-like area all the way around.
Definitely
bigger shelving. Next time we start a startup company,
let's
remember that.
Let's know all the things we need to know in advance.
I'll pull back the curtain real quick. Sometimes we talk about rearranging our setup, getting rid of the desk and just setting at the chairs. But when I fumble with things over here, I've got a garage stacked up over here.
Oh, I know, I do too.
I've got protein bars, I've got pens, I've got a bag, I've got a hoodie, I've got a water, I've got glasses, got the dry erase board. All that's right here. If we just had chairs sitting here, we'd have to have a what's it called, a grip on set to come running stuff out here all the time. It would be crazy. Just real quickly, congratulations to longtime friend of ours, Jay Barker's daughter, Amy Barker's daughter, Sarah Ashley Barker last night, and 3 Alabama players went in the WNBA draft, 3 from the same team. But Sarah Ashley went number 9 overall to L.A. Aliyah Nye went number 13 to Las Vegas.
I was trying to figure out what logo that was, so it's L.A.?
Yeah, L.A., Las Vegas, and Zay Green went 32 to Washington.
You know what I heard about Sarah Ashley, that she got put on everybody's radar because of that 45-point game, and I'm like,
that's one game.
How can one game catapult you into the top 10? But that's what things that I would come across. Not that I read a lot of WNBA mock draft stuff, but it was popping up.
My wife is good friends with Amy, Jay's Sarah Ashley's mom, and she asked me, she was like, hey, the WNBA draft's tomorrow night. And I said, I saw Sarah Ashley got invited. And she's like, yeah, we need to watch it. I was like, I don't know if it's on. And she goes, it's got to be on.
What? You know it's on.
No, I did not. I had no idea the WNBA draft was on.
I bet Sarah Ashley.
I found that out. And she's like, she said, does that mean she'll get drafted high? I said, well, generally, if you get invited, you're going to get drafted. And I said, I'll try to find an WNBA mock draft to see where they're saying. I found a lot of WNBA mock drafts. I didn't know there were that many.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had her number 9 to Las Vegas or Los Angeles. They were right.
I thought she was.
No.
I saw her in and out of different first-round mocks.
Yeah.
But that was about, top 10 was about where I saw her go. She's going to be a fan favorite in the WNBA.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
those fans will like them some Sarah Ashley Barker.
And she plays hard, and she will get after it in L.A. A lot of the best players in college basketball this year did not go to the draft because next year's WNBA TV deal goes up by $2 billion or something.
Yeah, but she was completely out of eligibility,
right?
She
had to go. So the best stars came back mainly because if you're drafted in the top 4, you make $78,000 a year. So the top athletes came back to college where the top athletes are averaging $1 million in NIL.
You think some of those girls are like, I can't even get child care for $78,000?
$78,000, $1 million. You make the choice there.
I'm going to take the mill.
And then where Sarah Ashley was drafted, that slotted in about what for in WNBA?
Well, I
salary?
Googled it last night because it's the next question my wife asked. Well, what kind of money will she make?
$250.
Oh, LT, the top four gets 78,000.
Yeah. 250,
not 780, 78,000.
Again, financially, how does this model work?
I don't. Well,
how does ESPN continue to throw it out there and it's like
part
top
of their,
stories?
It's part of. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of their NBA contract.
Yeah, it's part of their NBA contract. The reason they're showing
and the NBA
it.
pays for the WNBA.
Yeah, they
$70,000.
$70,000
is what she's going to make in
LA. Where how far do you think $70,000 goes in LA? What were you trying to live on in LA?
So back then, I told somebody this story the other day because I was living in a 2-bedroom in Westwood and it wasn't nice at all. And it was $1,000 a month in 1996, so 30 years ago.
What were you making?
I was making
$1,000 a month.
No, I was probably making a little bit more than that. I was probably making $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Yeah, so it was tight.
Oh, beyond tight.
Yeah.
Like the last time I ever took a loan from anybody financially was in 1996 from my old man. I was like, I got to have $300 sent to me.
Just to
make
it through.
Just to make it through.
Well, that was Western Union.
That was, I think he deposited my checking account.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to go old school Western Union. That's how we used to sell the old Lance's Lot guys across the country. That's how we would send them their $100 for the week or whatever. It was a Western Union.
The old Western Union. My first out-of-state job out of college was in Lexington, and I had to go to the local Dale Champs or whatever
Yeah, that's
it was.
what it was, grocery stores.
Yeah, Western Union to, I think I got a wire, $200 from back home, back in Alabama.
How about I knew a guy that used to work in radio, this is years ago, and they used to have to cash their check at the local grocery store because there was some sort of trade out between the radio station and the grocery store. So you would get your paycheck, you had to go to the grocery store to cash it.
Yeah.
That's a That
is unbelievable. Do they figure that you'll spend money when you're there?
I don't know how the trade worked. Surely they weren't just trading like if you'll cover these checks, you'll get the advertising in return. Maybe they were. Maybe that was the trade out. You get the advertising if you just cover the checks.
I know I like a lot of old school stuff. I loved getting the check around the office. We had the old mailbox and go get your check out of the mailbox.
Oh, yeah, and it had the perforated.
Being in sales, like I didn't, it was kind of potluck. Like most people have consistent checks, but that commission check, you just never knew where it was going to be.
But I can also tell you that you are able to keep up with your commission a lot better now, back then, than you were near the end when it was all digital. Like I would imagine you sat there and you're like,
I had a good ballpark figure within a couple of $100 where I was going to be on commission checks.
Yeah.
But the new way, no way.
Yeah. But in the old days, you would be like there. Oh, I think they shorted me a little bit here. And you were able to figure it out easier. Digital stuff, I'm assuming it's all right.
So you're saying they're getting paid more next year, though? Like
next year.
Rookie class?
Yeah, the new TV contract, the Caitlin Clark effect, goes into effect next year, and the money is expected, I don't want to be out of turn, to triple.
How are they going to support that financially?
Oh, the TV deal.
Yeah, TV ratings are up.
Okay, but when people don't buy advertising for these TV deals.
They do buy advertising. There's a lot of
they're forced into it, guilted.
I don't know, El. I don't know, but it's getting better, I guess. TV ratings with Caitlin Clark in them. A lot more WNBA than I wanted to do there. The show brought to you by our friends at. Let's go with our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Let's do that one. Tell us about New York Butcher.
New York Butcher Shop. Stop in for lunch or dinner. You can get those great deli sandwiches. Of course, pick up a couple of steaks on your way home. The best butcher shop in all of Birmingham. The original in Cobble Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. They've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. One-stop dinner shop. 2 locations, Cobble Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
The biggest, baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you have never visited the Talladega Super Speedway, you're absolutely missing out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed, incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
All right, so let's look at this from Nico's side. Nico Iamaleava, who has left Tennessee or forced out of Tennessee, depending on how you want to look at it. The betting odds of his landing spots, he hasn't picked anywhere yet. I didn't miss that last night, did I?
I've not seen. Well, I will say this. One place that he was supposedly going to be targeted by apparently found their quarterback very quickly in the portal last night.
UCLA was the betting favorite.
Okay, that was not the one I was talking about.
North Carolina was next.
That's the one I'm talking about. The kid apparently that has hit the portal from South Alabama hit it with North Carolina in mind. And I don't know if you've watched him play. He's a pretty good quarterback. South Alabama.
Yeah, I watched him a little bit.
Yeah, I watched him a couple games. And he apparently, Bill Belichick likes this guy. And all the conventional wisdom was from Trey Wallace at Outkick, who's got some connections down there. I think he's from Mobile. But then On Three, people were saying, look to North Carolina for the kid from South Alabama.
The betting favorites were UCLA, North Carolina, USC. This is last night before the story Brown's talking about. So 2 LAs in North Carolina. Then Texas Tech, Colorado, Arizona State, Notre Dame, Maryland, Oregon. That was all the betting odds for where Nico goes. If you're Nico's dad and you're Nico and you sit down and have this conversation, let's take money out of it because money is a big deal. We know that. But let's go these 3 subjects, and you tell me if I could make a case, if my son was telling me, Dad, I'm in a system here, Josh Heupel, it's quarterback friendly, but it's not NFL style. And I don't know if I'm going to become an NFL type quarterback, which is my ultimate goal if I stay here. What if I only came to Tennessee because of our NIL deal to start with. You guys convinced me to come to Tennessee. I'm from out west. I don't really have relationships left on the team anymore. People have left. They've hit the portal. They've gone on. And then the fans last year, there were times that Nico was disappointing to Tennessee fans. The fans can be hard on me at that program. If I came to you as your son and said, listen, man, I don't think I'm getting developed like I should. The relationships are not like I want to be, and I don't like being here. Are those reasons why you'd say, son, you're right? Money aside, let's hit the portal.
Well, there's another way to do it. If those were the reasons, if there was conversations like that, you don't take the PR hit you take if you're Nico, do you?
I wouldn't think so.
Because, it all sounds like just a greed grab, and like money is above the team at this point. So if those were concerns, that would have been a much better reason. People could stomach that. I don't think people can stomach the reason that Tennessee has parted ways with him.
So would you agree with Lance that if that were the reasoning behind it, you would have played the PR game on the front end? You wouldn't have let it carry over the way it did?
Well, I don't know if they have, because it felt like very quickly Tennessee, Nico's dad sort of went Pete Nakos, really hard on Pete Nakos.
Looks like an idiot for doing it right now, by the way.
But then they haven't really said anything since.
Who? Nico's side or Tennessee?
Nico's side, yeah.
You're right. They've gone pretty
Tennessee
quiet.
controlling the narrative.
That is right.
So my next news conference would be, I'd be laying out this. Listen, he wasn't really close to a lot of people on the team. He wasn't happy at Tennessee. He got on the wrong side with some fans who said some things, and he just doesn't think he's being developed like an NFL quarterback. He wanted to go somewhere else.
I think
that's a good way to play it.
And then the problem is, then I think you become, then Josh Heupel's like, Hendon Hooker was drafted in the 2nd round under me. Like,
how's he doing?
I think he's been hurt. He did tear his ACL. I think the cynical side of society would gravitate immediately towards dollars. Like, I don't even think we would buy that story.
Probably not. But here's the other side of that, Jim. If indeed they were trying to shake Tennessee down for more money, and there are receipts on that, that's when
Tennessee's got to use.
That's
them.
where Tennessee's like, okay, no, I know what Nico's saying. We could show you the text his dad sent saying I'm only staying for $2 million more or whatever.
Yeah.
Here's what I would ask you guys.
Would say, but here's the other text.
Right, and here's what you don't want to get into is that back and forth right there. If you're either side,
Heupel said he would give us 1.3 more.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We had Pate with the possibility that he could go somewhere and just serve as a backup and continue to develop. I don't see that happening. But if Nico literally is going to, be in a better situation, not only financially, but as far as an opportunity to win a championship, where could you guys see him going where he can start?
None of the names
won't be in a better spot.
Yeah, none of the names I read to you, the betting favorites, UCLA, North Carolina, USC, Texas Tech, Colorado, Arizona State. You have to go all the way down to Notre Dame, I think, before you have a real playoff contender.
That's the one that jumped out to me was Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Now, would Notre Dame be willing to take this PR hit?
Yeah.
Upgrade from Riley Leonard?
Yes. No. I mean, he doesn't have the experience.
No, I don't think so.
You answered that quick.
Yeah, I think he ultimately will be, but I'm not positive.
Okay, before we do the spotlight, Tyler, I want to tell everybody about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, a great way to stay on top of your health, UCA. 16 locations, 35 urologists, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Listen, when you're young, you feel bulletproof. And as you get a little bit older, you start to have concerns about your health. You want to stay on top of it because early detection is so important. 205-930-0920 gives you that peace of mind as you stay on top of everything from kidney stones to prostate health, vasectomies, everything in between. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight brought to you by our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorney, a national firm with southern roots in Birmingham for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. They are elite trial lawyers that have recovered more than $2 billion. Their mission, create a firm that can handle any issue the community faces. That's exactly what Alex has done. They now handle personal injury claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When it comes time for an attorney in your life, Shunnarah.com. That's where you go, Shunnarah.com.
Blind rankings that we do. I forget where we stole it from, Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but the social blind rankings.
How many? 6 today?
6 of them, please, 1 through 6.
God, I came off my best to my worst, so
yeah, you're due.
Listen, this is all hypothetical. This is in a world of imagination. But take Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker off the table. They will not be 2 names I throw out there. I've got 6 all-time great college football players, all-time greats, who were in situations or personalities, I think, that if the portal and the NIL world existed when they played, my question would be 1 to 6, 6 being most likely to stay at their institution, and 1 most likely to hit the portal.
Okay.
To go get more money and more fame elsewhere. Now, I took Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker off because I felt like those were big programs. They could pay, probably pay to get them, but you pay.
And both those guys played right away, too.
Yeah. And they were stars. So I don't think Bo Jackson would have ever left Auburn. I don't think Herschel Walker would have ever left Georgia.
Okay.
So 1 to 6, and I'll just go in the order I wrote them down. These are all-time greats. Deion Sanders, Florida State. If the NIL and portal existed, would Deion Sanders have hit the portal and gone elsewhere for more money or not?
Yeah. I mean, I went number 1 right out of the chute.
Yeah, I went number 2 because I'm interested to see if there can be a one that would be better.
I don't know if there's gonna be.
I hate to go number 1 out of the chute.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that would use his leverage, his charisma. We would have known a lot about Deion before we knew about Deion.
I mean, this was a guy that just in the NFL played for the Falcons, 49ers, Cowboys, Ravens. Did I get them all?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think it's 4.
And then in Major League Baseball, the Braves and the Reds, right?
Yep.
And the Yankees.
So, 7 combined franchises of professional sports. The guy didn't mind moving around a little bit.
Yeah. So that, my friend, is what you call a trap. That played out exactly the way I thought.
Okay.
Here are 5 more greats, and you tell me.
I left my 1 open.
Next up was Barry Sanders. Where did he play football?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Would he have hit the portal?
I've got him number 2, because they were not good teams. And Barry Sanders.
So Brown is just going to, the order I read them, he's going to write them down.
Yeah. I disagree.
Oh, you think he would have been loyal?
Well, first of all, I think
he was
Barry,
to the Lions.
He was to the Lions. He never left there. He retired early. He still drives his old truck. I don't think money was that big of a deal to Barry Sanders. I think it was more about loyalty. So I'm putting him last.
Bad play by me.
Look at this guy right here.
Although I did not think through it. All I was thinking was...
Oh, look, if you want to... I mean, I would sell it the other side. Hey, look, I understand loyalty, but if... And this might not be important to you, but if you ever want to win a championship, you got to get the hell out of Stillwater.
In that era, Jim, you put him in Tom Osborne's Nebraska or Joe Paterno's Penn State, he would have had all the yards, every one of them.
Or just... I don't know if Oklahoma was good then or not.
Yeah. Just flip sides of Bedlam.
Now, again, I've lured you into a trap, but Walter freaking Payton was at a SWAC school.
Yeah. See, I don't know where you're going with Jerry Rice now.
I'm not. Jerry Rice is not on the list.
You're not supposed to do that.
I only did one of those.
I went third.
Yeah.
For sweetness, I think Walter Payton. I mean, just to even his senior year, like you give
just one time, just to play at the highest level.
Yeah, I give Jackson State 3 great years, and then my senior year.
Yeah, I'm going number one.
Yeah.
I think there's no way that you could deny it. I mean, whoever you talk to in his family, talk to him. It would make complete sense to get out of there.
I mean, he was what Travis Hunter did is what Walter Payton did. He chose to go to a school, and he could have gone anywhere.
Well, and look, we lived in a day that people will never believe this, where running backs used to go. Not only they used to win Heisman's, they used to go number 1 overall.
Yeah,
and I think Walter Payton on the right stage could have gone number 1 overall.
Doug Flutie, Boston College.
We'll go low on him.
Yep, I'm going 5.
Yeah, I went 6 on Doug. So I got out of order there, Jim.
Doug, another one of those guys, I don't think it was really about money. I think he grew up. I think he was a BC fan.
Was he?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I know he won the Heisman, but I've always wondered how it would have translated had he been at a power. Because I don't remember BC playing a great schedule. I know they beat Miami.
Let me ask you this. If he drops that pass in the end zone, does he win the Heisman?
If Philon drops the pass in the end zone, probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk, San Diego State.
Boy.
I'm going 3 on Marshall.
I'm going to go 4.
Can you imagine how did the USC and them not convince him to sit out a year?
So, I mean, for those that are too young to remember, this guy was late night ESPN gold. You got San Diego State on the ESPN late game all the time because of this one guy right here.
Yeah.
And it was worth watching because of him.
Yep.
San Diego State was playing San Jose State. When else are you going to watch that game?
Yeah. So you got 4 open, you got 5 open.
Uh-huh.
John Elway, Stanford.
Wasn't his dad the head coach?
Yeah, Jack was the coach.
Yeah, that was
so
going
I
to
would
be a
have
problem
gone
right
6,
there.
but
that's a bad one.
Yeah, I would like to trade him and Flutie, but I can't. But I got him 5th. I don't think he's going to leave his old man.
That's a bad one then.
Now maybe it was a package deal.
Coach.
Maybe it's a package deal.
Yeah, I feel good about my list if I could just flip Elway and Barry Sanders maybe.
We criticize these guys now, but how many of the stars that we think we loved would have hit the portal?
A lot. I don't think we really I think sometimes we criticize their path. I mean, Nico's path is a bad path, and I'm not saying it's all on him. We don't know the entire story.
If he'd have done it after the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you would definitely stomach that. There would be people on the other side that, Tennessee gave you the first really huge NIL deal. You went to the postseason with them. Why would you leave? This makes no sense. But now he's just going to be labeled as a greedy guy trying to shake down a team that didn't have any leverage at all.
Yeah. I mean, all the way back to Jim Brown and Ernie Davis at Syracuse, the greatest of the greatest. Would they have stayed 3 years at their schools?
Give me one great Alabama and Auburn player that would have transferred that you feel 90% about. I mean, because a guy like Cam never got a chance. I mean, he was one and done.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder about, it's hard to say this because they were so loyal and still are so loyal to Alabama. But with the offense they were playing and the quarterbacks who were throwing it to them, Julio Jones would have been a name your price guy.
Yeah, I just don't know if he cared.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
he was
why it's
like,
hard to
man, this is
say."
a physical team. I like blocking. This is fun. Like, I know how good I am. I know I'm going to make money.
But that was his main job. It was blocking.
It was.
That was his main job.
Yeah. And he probably, in the right system, could win a Heisman Trophy.
Ozzie Newsome back in the day.
Did he not get a? Well, he was in a run.
It was
first
in a wishbone.
in the wishbone as a Hall of Fame tight end.
He was a wishbone.
Yeah,
wide
NFL
receiver.
Hall of Fame tight end.
Yeah.
Charles says Tua was going to had he not gone in at halftime of the national championship game. He was gone.
He was gone.
So he would have.
Where would he have gone?
Probably USC.
Probably USC. It's always the answer for anybody from Hawaii or the West Coast.
That's right.
I think it's more of just a rub it in USC's face. You're close, but you're not going to get there.
I mean, Auburn, I go right back to, you had Carnell Williams and Ronnie Brown.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need both of those guys.
Those guys could have named their price.
Yeah. I mean, crazy. Clay Travis on the other side, we'll ask him his thoughts on Nico. And has it changed the landscape of the SEC? That coming up. Hey, listen, we had weather recently that canceled a concert that was going to happen, LT. And we've got a chance to see Brother Kane in concert coming up here with our buddy Damon and the guys getting back together.
Yeah, I just need to figure out exactly the date on the show and where it's at.
But they're coming back.
I did tell you we did need to do that. Let me see if Todd ever. I said yes. Will you text me the basics, please? And he gave me a thumbs up, and I never got it.
Okay,
all right. Well,
so they're coming back. Man.
I'll get it. I can do something else real quick.
No, we're good. That's the top of the hour. Clay Travis on the other side. That Brother Kane concert coming back to Iron City here in just a few days. We'll tell you when.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Portia was jumping up and down behind the window. He knew when the concert was because he's a big Brother Kane fan. Clay Travis coming up, but that concert's actually the rescheduled concert April 19th at Iron City, part of the Codar Productions down there. So because of weather, rescheduled at Iron City. Get your tickets there and go check it out online with our friends Brother Kane. Clay Travis.
Many have wanted to hear from Clay.
Yeah, here we go.
Week. All right. Clay, as the founder of Outkick, you see him on Fox on social media at Clay Travis. He's with us now. What is up, Clay? How are you today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. Obviously, when the Nico story unfolded, a lot of people on social media were saying, I cannot wait for Clay's segment Tuesday to hear his thoughts. So I'll be extremely open-ended here. What are your thoughts on how all of this transpired over the last few days?
I think Tennessee made the right decision. I think last year, let's start with on-the-field performance. I know you guys watched at least the game against Alabama. I could think of 2 wide-open touchdown passes that Nico missed in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And almost every game, he had at least 2 that were schemed open, that he overthrew, underthrew, didn't see. And I understand he's a redshirt freshman, so he has the potential to get better. But what I saw was not a guy who processed information rapidly and made decisive decisions.
Whoa. 30-second timeout. I'll let you flip-flop about politics all you want. But my God, last week, was it not just last week you were on telling me he was going to be a top 5 NFL draft pick?
No, I said some people are saying that he is. And if he played really, really well, then he has the potential. I mean, I think they have him at the top of draft boards. Now, I think he's blown himself up in many ways there. But my expectation for Nico was that he would come back, that Tennessee was paying him fairly. But I also was told that his family was saying they wanted twice the money. And my private comments were, I wouldn't give him twice the money. And I don't think he's performed to deserve that. And I don't even know how many teams out there would pay him what Tennessee is paying him now. I mean, what nobody is talking about, Tennessee paid him $2 million to redshirt. I mean, and that was the family's choice. So he got paid $300,000 almost per start in his Tennessee career so far. He got paid way more money than Brock Purdy has gotten paid to play any season with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think he was underpaid. And I actually feel somewhat sorry for Nico because, and this is me getting to be a softie as I get older, I've got 3 boys. You guys all have kids. Every parent's job is to try to teach your kids not to take the sugar rush of short-term decisions, but to make smart long-term decisions that maximize your ability to be a success in life. And leave aside the money for a moment. Nico has been in the Tennessee system for 2 years now. Whatever you want to say about Josh Heupel, he got Hendon Hooker drafted and he got Joe Milton drafted. I'm not sure how many college football coaches in America would have made that happen. Both of those guys transferred into Tennessee without a ton of people trying to clamor for them to come and play there, right? So you have a really good situation. I don't know what Nico's ceiling fully is, but I feel very confident that there aren't many places that would get that ceiling better than Tennessee. You're playing in the best conference in America at one of the best schools in that conference, and you are being very highly compensated to do it. If you think that your son is a NFL caliber Pro Bowler, which I would imagine Nico's dad probably does, and I would imagine that that's Nico's aspiration. If you pull that off, you become, and this is important, I think, for a lot of kids out there to think about who don't get this advice, you become a billionaire. That is billionaire. Patrick Mahomes is going to be a billionaire. Josh Allen may become a billionaire. If you are an incredibly good NFL quarterback, whatever you make in college is a pinprick of what you can make as a professional. Now, I understand for some guys out there, Diego Pavia, that NFL future might not be there. So if he can make $1.5 million by staying at Vanderbilt for another year, that's real money to him that he's probably never going to unlock in the NFL. But if you have NFL aspirations, whatever you make in college is going to be a small amount compared to what you can make in the NFL. And so I think he just got really, really bad advice. I think he should have buckled down, said, hey, I started as a freshman. Tennessee went to the playoffs. To a large extent, that was because they were very good at running the football. Dylan Sampson was more valuable than Nico last year. But, and I'll use the Alabama game as an example, the throw that Nico made to Dante Thornton, rolling out to his right about 50 yards down the field, that really kind of flipped that game and Tennessee went on to win it, is a throw that not many quarterbacks can make in college football, and I'm not even sure how many in the NFL can make it. The kid has an incredible arm. He has incredible talent. It's why he was a 5-star. But right now, I think a lot of people are looking around saying, first of all, we can't pay him $4 million. There aren't that many schools that can pay $4 million. And if we are, it needs to be for a guy that we know is going to be an incredible talent. So I think given all that situation, the transfer portal opens up on Wednesday. I got, this is true. I've got people sliding in my DMs who are family members of starting quarterbacks in college football right now that would crawl on their hands and knees to make $2 million to get to play in the SEC. So I think Tennessee will find a good quarterback. They got the number 1 quarterback for 2026 already committed. They've got a couple of high 4-stars that are there as young players. So I'm not worried about Heupel and the quarterback position. But I just think this is a cautionary tale about not knowing what your value is and trying to cash a check that's not there. Let me say something else. Dan Lanning at Oregon told Tennessee that Nico was shopping himself. I think a lot of college coaches are talking behind the scenes because many of these agents are trying to make 50 or 100K extra, and they're lying about whether or not they have offers from other schools. And I think a lot of coaches are over it, right? They're not saying, hey, if you play well for me that you don't deserve to get paid. But they're over the, hey, I'm going to start a bidding war against 3 or 4 other schools, and maybe you're lying. And the one other thing I'll say here is a lot of these guys don't have traditional agents. Traditional agents in the NFL, whatever you want to think about them, you got to go work with the Buffalo Bills or the San Francisco 49ers or the Miami Dolphins for the next 20 or 30 years. There is a level of honesty required to get deals done. Double transfer portals, you got guys who agree to deals in January and then demand a renegotiation in May when the transfer portal opens again. Dude, you haven't even played a game in the last 4 months. You're not even doing a year deal. So I think this is broken. I think the market has to correct itself in some way. And based on who appears to be interested in Nico, it feels to me like he may be, unfortunately, a cautionary tale about the market correcting in real time with him.
Clay, I think the majority of people were really excited that Tennessee told this guy to kick rocks, especially how quickly it happened from missing Friday's practice to Saturday. The guy is done. Tennessee definitely won the PR game in that. But how did Nico's camp get this so wrong? We had Josh Pate on yesterday, and look, he made a great point, and I can't believe this hasn't been done yet. Like, Nico's camp needs to fall on the sword and say, hey, look, we handled this completely wrong. Because right now, as Pate told us, he's kind of radioactive. Like, where is a landing spot for Nico?
Yeah, look, I don't disagree. Somebody told me the other day that he needs to pull a Costanza and just show back up at the Tennessee facility and just pretend that he never. Remember that from Seinfeld? For people who forgot it, George quit a job and then just showed right back up like he never quit, which was actually evidently based on Larry David, like had a fit at Saturday Night Live as a writer and quit. And then was like, what am I doing? Like, that was stupid. And then just showed back up at work the next day like nothing had happened, which is really very, very funny. But I do wonder what would happen if Nico went hat in hand back to Tennessee and said, you know what, I handled this poorly. I'm a 19 or 20-year-old kid. I don't think I'm in a better situation. I think they probably have too much pride to do it. But I think that's probably the best solution they could get. to this situation. I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, can you imagine if the guy suits up for Texas Tech or Tulane or Syracuse next year and makes less money than he was going to make at Tennessee? I look at a lot of this stuff now as a dad, and your job as a dad is to keep stuff like this happening, in my opinion. Like you all remember, you've been young and dumb. Every 17, 18, 19-year-old boy trying to turn into a man in America is a moron, right? On some level. So you got to have dad or mom kind of point out that you're not trying to make short-term money. You're trying to set yourself up for long-term success. And, this is what I spend a lot of time thinking about now, because I got a 17, a 14, and a 10-year-old. What am I doing to teach them to not, take the cookie every day and be willing to invest for the long term in your career or in your life, which is ultimately, I think, where success really comes. And, in sports, it happens at a younger age because there's not very many people out there who have a multi-million-dollar valuation at, 21 or 22 years old. So you get to it faster, which is why I think your family and support structure matters more. But, again, your goal, and this is me talking to every college football player in America, your goal should not be to make money playing football in college. That should be a pathway to allow you to make generational wealth in the NFL. That should be the goal. And so anything you do that detracts from your ability to make generational wealth in the NFL is a poor life choice that you are making. And I think Nico just became, exhibit one in the downside of an NIL era, and why it's going to lead to a lot of young guys, I think, breaking their future in college as opposed to having a professional career.
Did it change Tennessee's win total, in your opinion?
Well, I saw where I think you or the count, and I went and looked. It dropped to 1. I think it remains to be seen who the replacement is. I mean, I think if they go to a freshman, basically in Merklinger or McIntyre, I think that probably does, because those guys have just not played very much, and there will be growing pains. This is a talented, top 10 caliber Tennessee team otherwise. So I think it remains to be seen. Are they going to go get a guy who started for a couple of years that is a serviceable, solid, even more reliable version of maybe what Nico was? Or are they going to say, hey, we're going to roll the dice. We think we got, super young talent, and we're going to ride it out with them in the short term? That to me is the question. I would expect that they already said, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, that Heupel said, look, we need 3 quarterbacks. I think they only have 2 on scholarship right now. So they're going to go get one. And I can just tell you, 90% of the starting quarterbacks in college football, maybe 95%, are making less than what Nico was making at Tennessee and are not getting to play in Neyland Stadium in front of 100,000+. Here's the other thing. Whoever, if there is somebody who comes in, whether it's the freshman or whether it is a transfer, that person is set up for an all-time hero narrative arc, right? Where you are the guy who came in after Nico kind of bailed and turned his back on the program. And then the other thing that I thought Josh Heupel handled well was, and this is sometimes important for people to hear, every program is bigger than every athlete. It doesn't matter whether you're at Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Ohio State, USC. Those programs are going to endure long after every coach and long after every player comes through. And I think sometimes people forget that. There are going to be good seasons, bad seasons, but ultimately college football has the fan base that it does because of the name on the front of the jersey, not because of the name on the back of the jersey. And while that might be a little bit challenging in the short term for Tennessee, I think it's important. I also think the message is important. If we'll let Nico walk, do you think that the linebacker is going to suddenly show up and say, hey, you better pay me more money or else I'm going to leave? I think, again, at the end of the year, if you outperform, or at the end of the year, if you were a backup and you become a starter, I think you're going to get paid in college football, but if you're just a guy, then, and I think Nico was just a quarterback so far. His ceiling was very high, but again, his pay, what is an extra, I'm being honest with you, what is an extra $1 million or $1.5 million going to do to his life? Nothing. If you're making 2.4 and you make 4, that's nice, but your goal is not to make 4. It's to make $40 million a year or $60 million a year in the NFL. And what you're doing to try to reach for an extra $1 million actually is hindering you being able to make an extra 50 or 60 million. Because I do think even if he plays well this year and tries to go pro, a lot of NFL teams are going to sit back and say, this is the thing they worry about the most. Money can change people. If I give somebody tens of millions of dollars, are they going to continue to work hard, or are they going to be satisfied with what they got? They want people who are going to continue to work hard in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. They want people who are going to make every workout. They want people who are going to be good leaders. And I feel bad for Nico that he's surrounded by people who didn't make him see the bigger picture.
Okay, Clay, I've got a really important question coming up. But before that, I do have to ask you this because I brought it up yesterday. Josh Heupel, along with almost every coach, wanted Arch Manning. If this was Arch Manning, I think this thing is handled completely in a different manner. Would you agree with that? And I'm not talking about. I'm just saying.
I have no idea what Arch is making, but I know Cooper, and I actually know Cooper fairly well, and I know that Cooper, certainly because he's seen what Eli and Peyton made. Eli and Peyton, I legit believe, are billionaires. I don't think that Cooper Manning is going public over a couple of $1 million. I mean, again, I have no idea what he's making, but they are smart enough.
I agree with that, Clay. I'm just saying, hypothetically, let's just say that it was the agents running the show and they pulled this Bush League move. I believe Tennessee would have handled it differently with a Manning. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I don't think it would have gone public if it were a Manning. Right. And I also think that, again, I know those guys, they wouldn't have handled it like this. They just wouldn't. And that's because, for better or worse, like Cooper, I think Cooper has done a phenomenal job with Arch. And look, again, this is me talking as a dad. I didn't give my kids cell phones until they were 14 years old. Some people may say that's too young. Some people, I don't let them post on social media by and large. Some people may say that's too strict given what I do. I just know what young teenage boys need, I think, in some way. And I'm not saying my boys are going to grow up perfect. They're going to screw up like everybody else's kids are. But if you have a kid that is in any way in the public eye, I think they need structure even more. And I don't think, Arch has not been active on social media. Back in the day, I think that Cooper and Olivia, I might have gotten his mom's name wrong, but she's great too. I don't think they let him post on social media. They were like, no, you're not going to do this. This is not good for you. And, they had the Manning family hype already. I'm sure that Cooper is making a good living at Texas. I'm sure they're paying him well. And he might be making actual NIL money if they want to make NIL money. Remember, initially NIL was supposed to be, hey, you can get a Wendy's commercial like Bryce Young did and Caleb Williams, if I remember correctly, or Dr. Pepper or whatever it was. That's actual NIL. What NIL is right now is just pay to play. So, look, I mean, ultimately, I think about this all the time. There's a lot of noise. Ultimately, all that matters is the work product, right? I'm going to hang up with you guys. I'm going to go do my 3-hour radio show. We're going to do $40 million in advertising on that show this year. I got to go up and perform. I got to show up and perform. That's the reality. I got one of the biggest shows in America, produces a ton of money, makes a ton of money for iHeart.
Same.
But I got to show up and make money.
Okay.
And everybody does. Whatever you do for a living, ultimately it's the work product that matters. And I come back to Nico's work product wasn't very good. And if your work product's not very good, you typically don't get a raise, whether you're selling cars or whether you're talking into a mic.
Okay, Clay, the important stuff. I'm one of those that I believe anybody into their mid-40s to close to 50, they've got to have some kind of gray. It's just natural. And I think we all agree with Ryan Day, like dyes the beard, dyes the hair. It's a different shade. It's like a midnight raven black. You actually came out with this. You threw it out there. Ryan Day's,
hold on. Let me give you my example. Let's leave Ryan Day on the side for a moment.
Okay, and then you get to Ryan Day and what happened with his wife, please.
Yeah, okay. So Santa. If Santa has a dark beard and he tries to get a kid to sit on his lap, you're not doing it, and you're probably going to put him in prison, right? Santa's entire beloved character has to do with the fact that he's a jovial, merry, old guy with a white beard. The white beard, whether it's Gandalf, whether it's Santa, it connotes like wisdom, age, trustworthiness, and also having a beard is the exact opposite of the decision to dye your beard. So I made my argument that you can't trust a man who dyes his beard. Like you can dye your hair. I haven't done it. I'm not saying I never will, but I haven't done it. But you can look at my beard. I'm 46. It's going white, all right? If you are around my age and your beard is without a speck of gray, you're doing something. And so I pointed to Ryan Day. I'm like, people don't trust him because he comes out on Saturday and he's got like a fresh coat of shoe polish in the beard trying to look like he's more youthful than he actually is. And so I tweeted about that, and I did a video, like kind of in a funny way, using Santa as an example. And Ryan Day's wife decided to claim that he doesn't dye his beard. So she jumped on Twitter, and now, I don't know, there's headlines everywhere. Ryan Day's wife and Clay Travis are feuding over whether Ryan Day dyes his beard or not.
Are you in fact feuding? Is there a feud?
No, there's the post right now. Scott pulled it.
There's no feud, is there?
Well, I mean, I guess a feud is when two people disagree online, right?
Okay,
I guess I'm expansively defining it. I don't think there's a charity boxing match set up between me and Ryan Day or anything.
Clay, I don't necessarily. I've never known the need for the wife or the husband or whoever to
It's
get
funny to me
involved.
for all of the criticisms that Ryan Day has gotten at Ohio State, not beating Michigan, foremost among them.
That's the one.
He decided to defend him over whether or not he dyes his beard. Which, look, I told my wife, first of all, I don't know that my wife would defend me.
And by the way, tell her the Michigan narrative is way too easy.
Yeah, can't beat Michigan dye beard. I'd rather you tell me I can't dye my beard.
I don't know that, it's funny, my mom, when I started writing online like 20 years ago, was mad about what people said about me, so she got in the mentions and was like defending me. This is like, 2005, 2006, and I had to be like, Mom, you can't get in the mentions. I'm sure she's just been busy. My wife has never gone on social media and defended me for anything, to my knowledge. So I'm not sure that my wife is going to defend me for anything on social media in the first place. But I did have to tell my mom, hey, you can't get on social media. My mom is like Jerry Seinfeld's mom. She can't believe that anybody would not like me. And like most moms, she's right.
Hey, I know you have his cell number. Tell Vice President Vance that it's a two-piece trophy. That confuses a lot of people. That was he's a huge Ohio State fan yesterday, and I'm just glad it wasn't the BCS championship trophy. We'd have, if it wasn't for Travion Henderson, we'd have multiple pieces of the things.
Yeah, good hands from Travion there to make the catch. But it is funny, and then to credit to Vance, who's pretty quick on social media. He said he just decided to break the trophy to ensure that nobody else won it, since he's a big Ohio State fan. So it's been a good year, year and a half for J.D. Vance. Go from senator from remember, he only won the Senate seat in like 2022. So in about 2 years, he's gone from no political career at all to a heartbeat away from the presidency to his team winning the national title. Pretty good little run.
Literally a heartbeat away.
Yeah, it's no doubt.
Yeah.
I was setting you up so you could say the previous administration couldn't have lifted the trophy. So,
well, I think Joe Biden was still sleeping. He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have been able to be on the stage. It's nap time.
Clay Travis at Clay Travis on social media, Outkick founder, and you see him on Fox as well. Well, Clay, have a great week, man. We appreciate the time as always.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks a lot. I think, by the way, Kamala, based on her past history, was pretty good with balls, so I think she would have handled it.
Dudaway, you opened the door, Dudaway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, Alabama softball walks off number 2 Oklahoma last night, winning the series. Softball school.
Hey, I told you softball school. Let me say this, by the way. This is going to stun people. I really like Ty Simpson. I am seeing that and hearing that he is looking really good. So I hope he has a really good season, except for the game against Tennessee. But I actually think he's going to be really good.
Wait, is this
year
your way of trying to get him to Tennessee right now? Is this your way of trying to get him to Tennessee?
Hey, you can't transfer in from in conference, so I can't win him over. But he does, Ty Simpson, have incredible taste when it comes to sports media. He's a big outkick.
Okay, so who would you rather have as your starting quarterback, Simpson or Nico?
Simpson. I mean, I think that
different answer if we asked you last week.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
100%. Yep.
Last week.
Well, I mean, Nico has a higher ceiling, but I think Ty is more reliable. And you know, Ty is, like I said, he's got great taste in sports media, loves outkicks. So, you know, I mean, I hope he has a tremendous senior year.
Clay, thank you. Have a great week.
All right, appreciate you all. See ya.
All right, Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys Hotline. That is where you found Clay Travis.
Before we do the Michelson viewing menu today, I want to remind you, Storm Restoration Roofing. There will be pop-up storms, whether it's today, tomorrow, or Friday or Saturday, whenever they pop back up here in the South, and they will. You'll want to have a trusted roofing guy always on standby, and that is Greg from Pell City in Storm Restoration Roofing. 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. You can either text him at that number, you can hit him up with a message on Facebook. He'll give you a free, no-cost roof inspection, absolutely free. He handles full roof replacement, storm damage, roofing repairs, whatever. But that free, no-cost roof inspection with no obligation is a great place to start because you don't know what's going on your roof. He actually gets up on the ladder, checks out your roof, lets you know if you got misplaced shingles or anything like that. And he's got a building license, so he can help you with some repairs and things. It's Storm Restoration Roofing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned. He and his wife run the company. They've got sons and sons-in-laws that works on the crews. It's just a family operation, Storm Restoration Roofing. And our viewing menu brought to you by Michelson.
205-969-8100. Very important. Ask for Amy Toer. The next round, Cynthia, she is going to hook you up with the absolutely free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I wore contacts for about a decade. I wasted money each and every year on the contacts and solutions. Now have 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Got a new documentary premiering tonight. It centers around the Carter brothers, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys and his little brother Aaron.
Oh.
And it's told through the eyes of their sister, Angel, and it unpacks the complex family dynamics of the Carters, their addictions, and everything that led to their tragic deaths.
Oh.
Sounds very depressing, and I've got...
They died?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Carter passed away a couple years ago.
Now, there's conspiracy theories, but...
Sorry to break the news, dude.
I did not know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Was he a little drummer?
No.
A little drummer boy, if you will?
Are you thinking of the Hansons by chance?
No, I was not.
This one does.
I may have gotten Justin Bieber.
This one does nothing for me, by the way.
It does nothing for me either, but they were big at the time. And if you've got Paramount Plus, you got a new documentary.
So Nick Carter's still alive, though?
I think both of the Carter...
Scott says yes.
Okay.
So I'll go with what Scott says. But if you don't want to watch that, you can tune into AMC at 6 p.m. And Brown, you've got a chance to review a movie for the first time ever.
Die Hard.
It's Die Hard. You can finally watch this. What are you
I
doing
can
today
watch
at
it at
6?
any time. Today,
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay. I can watch it. And where's it streaming? Like, I don't have to just watch it on AMC.
Tyler, back me up. Jurassic Park's a better movie.
Yeah, I've not seen either of those two.
I would do Jurassic Park now. Save Die Hard for Christmas.
For Christmas? Okay.
Oh,
I will,
that's a
at the next possible moment. How long is Jurassic Park?
2 hours, 18 minutes.
I think it's right around 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah,
Next
it's nothing
time,
crazy.
Next time I've got 2 hours and we're looking for a movie, I'll go Jurassic Park. I'm not sure Jennifer has seen it either. I'm almost certain she hasn't because we were dating. When did that come out? 93. 93. We were dating around then. I would have known if she's seen it.
Is she a dinosaur fan?
Jennifer and I have not had many dinosaur discussions.
I would have known it if she's seen it. I hope on the down low she goes, it's these movies you don't know about, and you uncover a big box of secrets.
Like, of course
I've been going to the movie by myself every
I
afternoon
finally
while
got
you've
to
done radio. I've seen them all.
Last of Us last night. Have you seen first episode, season 2?
I started season 1 last night.
Okay. You'll love season 1. I think season 2 is going in a bad direction just through one episode.
Oh, wow.
I already feel this.
Yes, the second game was really divisive. They added a new character, and people really didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I imagine this will kind of go the same route.
Well, that's like the John Hamm show that's on Apple, I believe.
Oh, I like it.
Like, I like everything about it except the one part of how he's making his money now. That's the only part of it. But I like the relationships and the conversation and everything. That's the only part I don't like.
But I do think that's going to be a bigger part, because when I saw the initial premise, I didn't realize he was going to be stealing from his friends.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Friends and Neighbors, there's a reason for the title. And there's only 2 episodes in. But you know what's so funny about that is John Hamm forever did those Apple commercials. He's got an Apple show. He's got an Apple show. Now Ham's finally got his Apple show. Yeah. And I liked the first 2 episodes. I thought it was really good.
I do too. I told Brown the other day, I like everything around. I think it was you I told.
You did,
like
actually,
everything around it except that one little aspect, the stealing part. I said I would be happy just with his life dynamics.
You don't even have to have that storyline.
You don't even have to have that storyline.
But I think that's unfortunately part of it.
Is it more Mad Men John Hamm? Is he like that character? Is it more
I'll tell you,
Landman?
He's drinking McClellan 25 again.
Yeah, he's got...
I don't know if he has a deal with McClellan, because he drinks it in everything.
The funny thing is, to me, the Don Draper character had a brilliant mind, but it wasn't like he was overly personable.
No.
Which is kind of crazy for the role that he was in and what he actually brought to the table. But I think he's got more personality in this one. I think John Hamm is a tremendous actor.
I like John Hamm.
That has really been untapped on a lot of different things.
I love him. I love Amanda Peet. I love Olivia Munn. There are a lot of good characters in this.
So some of the storylines are a little unbelievable, though, of the Amanda Peet character and the new dynamic.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that would have happened.
Well, I think it could happen. I just don't know if they would be as cordial.
Boy, Amanda Peet hanging around a long time.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, a whole 9 yards was a good 15 years ago.
Oh, that has to be.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we're watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. When we come back, let's do 4 downs.
Okay.
We'll touch on Labaron Philon going to the NBA. That did not shock anybody. NASCAR coming to... Is it next weekend? Not this weekend, but next weekend, Talladega?
That is correct, Jim. Wow. April 25th through 27th is Jack Link's 500 weekend at Talladega Superspeedway.
I want some Jack Links today. Can we sample some?
Sure, why not? We'll have to work on that. There's only less than an hour and a half of the show left. Jack Link's 500 weekend, Talladega Superspeedway, April 25th through 27th. You can get your tickets, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. And see 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. The Jack Link's 500 NASCAR weekend, Talladega Superspeedway, April 25th through 27th, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Superspeedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Superspeedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Link's 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Don't miss the action. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, tonight, Hawks and Magic, 6:30 on TNT. Winner into the playoffs to get Boston. Grizzlies and Warriors tonight. After that on TNT, winner into the playoffs and get Houston. Losers wait for Friday to see if they can play their way into the NBA playoff in a single-game setting. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Before LT tells you about a new concert coming up there at Iron City, I will tell you our friends at Way to Wellness, your opportunity to drop some weight, get healthier here in 2025. It's all easy with a plan from Leslie and her board-certified team, a planforme.com. A planforme.com gets you to Way to Wellness. There's no contracts. There's no sign-up fees. And the first consultation's free. And she'll tell you about a variety of different ways she has to help you jumpstart your weight loss. That includes injection therapy, meal replacements, protein bars that I will eat one of in just a second, my mid-morning snack to tide me over till lunch. Whatever it is, it's helped me, and it helps me keep the weight off. Down to 173 and maintaining that with our friends at Way to Wellness. See what they can do for you at planforme.com. And Brother Kane, one night only, postponed because of weather, coming back to Iron City.
Yeah, we had Damon Johnson in. If you go back, March 15th was the original date of the scheduled concert, 8 o'clock. It had to be rescheduled for this weekend. We all remember the tornado, the inclement weather that rolled through. Here's the deal, though. Tickets for the original date will be honored for the new date. Don't miss Brother Kane at Iron City, coming up this Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Miles Morgan, Cage Willis. The music starts at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 7. You can get your tickets now. Standing room only. You can go online to IronCityBham.com. That is IronCityBham.com. Brother Kane coming up this Saturday, 8 o'clock at Iron City.
Did you see what the Masters did for the Monday practice round? You know, it got rained out. I think we had some friends over there.
For a second, I was trying to tie it to Brother Kane.
It is in a sense. Okay. There was a rain out, so you only got to be inside the gates, I think, for 60 to 90 minutes.
Weren't you in a rain out when you went over?
The last time I went over there, yeah, but it didn't rain out. They let us back in, but we had to leave for a minute, for a couple hours.
I think I saw what they were doing, yes.
Yeah, they refunded every ticket and gave you priority to purchase next year's Monday practice round ticket, which you normally don't get.
I would have just rolled it over. I said, don't even refund me, just give me next year.
Well, but then some people, then the complaint would be, well, I can't come next year, so what do I do? Well,
no,
so
I'm just saying, I appreciate them doing both.
Yeah.
I would
They
have
went
said,
above and beyond.
Yeah, I would have said, listen, don't worry about refunding. Go ahead and just give me next year's passes.
They really didn't have to do anything. They could have just said, hey, sorry, it says on your ticket right there, rain or shine.
Rain or shine. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Oh, I meant to, I told you guys yesterday that the Andersons invited me over to their master's dinner.
Yeah.
I got pictures from them. I'll send them to Scott.
Okay.
That's amazing.
You guys, you're going to die when you see this stuff.
Love to see that. We'll get to 4 downs in just a second, but no surprise, at least in my circle, that Labaron Philon was going to the NBA. I had counted him off this roster for a long, long time. He made the announcement official yesterday, and some people seem to be surprised, too, that he's not leaving open the possibility of coming back to college. He's done with his college career. He's going to play professional basketball now, whether it's in the NBA, the G League, or wherever he's going. That didn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me, but I am, and perhaps I'm in the minority or even alone in this, I don't really watch him right now and see an NBA player.
I don't either. I saw him a couple of times pick up his dribble and just get the ball taken out of his hands because he wasn't strong enough. But he's 6'4", so let's say they're lying. Let's go down to 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
He's got NBA size. He was really good at decision-making a lot, but he turned the ball over a lot too, like just lost his dribble.
Like I see a potential NBA player, Lance. I don't mean to say I don't see NBA potential, and I am far from an NBA scout. I just don't see a guy that is NBA ready right now. And the mock drafts, by the way, are reflective of that. I don't see him do well in the mock draft.
How many 6'4" two guards there are in the NBA right now?
All of them.
Yeah, and that's why I just thought for Labaron, you see that he's got a really good skill set. I think he could become an elite defender. But I think he needed to come back, polish things up, and really solidify himself as a round one guy. I don't think he's going to get drafted in the first round. I think he's going to be early second.
I would tend to agree, which may mean G League or fight for a roster.
I mean, it's not a guaranteed contract.
I got asked last night who goes first, Philon or Pettiford in the first round. I said, I have a feeling neither. I think Pettiford comes back to Auburn, and I think Philon ends up being at the end of the first round or not.
Especially if Bruce Pearl is right and Pettiford's 5'11", then I would say neither of them are first round.
Yeah, here's the one thing. I think Pettiford could be a 40% guy behind the arc. Again, he's got things that you can't coach, like his ability, like his just pure athleticism is kind of next level. So, like, if I was taking a flyer on one of these guys, Pettiford would be my guy. I know we don't know if he's 5'11" or 6 feet, but I agree with you. I think both these guys can end up being out of the first round. Kind of lean with you. Pettiford will be back. But I think Philon, I don't want to say he's making a mistake. He might, But Jokic was a second-round guy.
That was the most surprising part of it to me, is that he did not leave the return option open. Now he's going and he's going. But now, from Alabama's perspective.
That's where I wanted to go, because there are openings now. There's 3 spots.
Well, but there are 3. So if he had said, I may stay in the draft or I may come back, now you've got 2 spots open and maybe a third. And if it's maybe a third, you don't know that until May. And guess what's not open in May?
Yeah, the portal.
The portal, unless you've had a coach that has left between now and then. So, you can't address that immediately in May if he decides, I'm staying in the NBA draft. So silver lining in this is that at least if you're Nate Oates, you now know Stevenson's spot, Reed's spot, and Philon's spot are all open.
Yeah.
So you got to fill 3.
So Alabama's still shopping the portal. It'll be interesting to see what goes on there. By the way, I'm going to show you a consensus. Forrester has it, a consensus of all the way too early top 25s and what that ranking looks like. I don't know how you do all of this.
Is this basketball?
Yeah. I mean, the portal is still moving. It's churning at a very high rate.
Yeah, Alabama's got roughly 30% of their roster. They don't even know who it is right now.
And I think somebody told me of the players that played in the BYU, I think Reed told me this last night at poker, the people that played in the BYU win, the best win of the season, one guy played 20-something minutes is back, one guy played 9 minutes is back, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is gone.
Yeah, you look at the box score, and almost every player in that box score is going for Alabama.
That's insanity.
Oh, it's crazy.
Especially when you look at the consensus top 25 here from all the services. that were put out. So you see all the ESPNs and the Foxes, the On3s, all of those. The one on the far left is the consensus put together. And Houston, who almost is everybody's number one across the board, Duke and Purdue. By the way, yesterday Purdue gets Braden Smith to come back.
Yeah. Well, I figured he was going to come back.
That's huge.
I mean, it's he's in that kind of purgatory. I don't know where Smith would be drafted.
UConn is 4, Louisville 5. Excuse me, I'm reading the wrong one. So it's Houston, Duke, Purdue, UConn, Louisville, Florida 6, St. John's, Michigan, Alabama, consensus number 9. Now, when I look and I see 3 holes on my roster, coming off the best roster ever assembled in Alabama history, that is just I trust Nate Oates.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's what that is. And Preston Murphy. BYU, who is spending $10 million, is at 10. Kentucky, Kansas, Texas Tech, Arkansas, UCLA, Bruce Pearl, and Steven and that crew at 16. You got Pettiford, Chad Baker-Mazara, Keyshawn Hall, who's a Big 12 leading scorer. Couple of spots you're going to fill in the roster, too. That's a lot of respect there for BP and them. And then on down the list on that consensus top 25. We'll have an interview with Keyshawn Hall, the big commitment from UCF to Auburn, dropping on our platform. Set your alerts of the summer version of the basketball show coming soon. Let's do 4 downs. Before we get to 4 downs, I want to tell you about our wonderful friends right there, Brownie at NASCAR. Coming back. Yeah, tell us about NASCAR.
TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. It's the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend, April 25th through 27th. You can get tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Again, if you've lived any amount of time in the state of Alabama and have never been to the Talladega Superspeedway, you're just missing out on one of the great events that happens in our state every year. It is a blast. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed, incredible action at every turn. Jack Links 500 weekend, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That is TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Yeah, I double dipped you there.
You did. 4
Bojangles.
downs. Speaking of dipping, if you're tired of choosing between sweet and savory, why not have both? The Bojangles chicken and Bowberry waffles. Signature Cajun chicken filet drizzled with a Bowberry glaze, sandwiched between warm waffles, available for a limited time. It's bow time. Hit it, Tyler.
Good job,
First down.
Good job, Sugat.
Chris Stapleton, 47 years old today. Ultimately, better career, Chris Stapleton or Joaquin Phoenix?
Well, I mean, Chris Stapleton is for some reason, I don't love him.
Really?
But he is so talented. And then his song comes on a playlist when I'm riding down the road and I've got the aux cord plugged in and I'm listening to somebody else, but I got it on a random. His song will come on, and for 3 minutes I'm singing out loud to every word, and I'm like, why don't I like this guy more than I like him?
Does it sound like Stapleton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about when you're singing.
Oh, no. No. If I could play the guitar like him or sing like him, I don't know if you guys would even know who I was.
If we'd have met you?
No.
Stapleton.
You'd be the next Lyle Lovett.
Yeah.
I think Stapleton's he's never going to be like mainstream, the most popular country music artist, just because that's not who he is. He's always going to be very well respected and extremely popular, but he's never going to be
he doesn't fit country, but he doesn't fit pop music.
Yeah,
right?
and he's not like some big personality. He's just a guy that wants to sing and play music. He's phenomenally talented. I've seeing him in concert was such a great experience. I mean, it sounds recorded. It's amazing that he's that talented vocally.
See, and I think Joaquin is a great actor. He's a complete weirdo, but he's been nominated for 4 Academy Awards. He's won Best Actor. I would go Joaquin.
Joaquin was in, I would say, one of the greatest, if not the greatest movie ever made,
Matrix?
Gladiator, and was fantastic as the villain.
He was much better than Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
Matrix. You went Matrix, didn't you? Yes.
But he's in the Matrix, right?
No.
That is not Joaquin.
So
Please
he's
tell
been
me.
nominated Academy Awards for Walk the Line as Johnny Cash, 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, wrong guy. You got wrong guy.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master, which I never saw.
I know who he is now. That's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, the guy that played the Joker, in my opinion, a better Joker portrayal than Heath Ledger. I know I'm in the minority there.
No, I love this guy.
Yeah, Scott brings up a good point. Did you just get Keanu Reeves
He did.
and Joaquin
He did.
Phoenix
100%.
mixed up?
That's
incredible.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, they're Homo sapiens and they're dark hair.
They're
I
actors.
promise
That's
you,
it.
if you were inside my head when you said Joaquin Phoenix,
You pictured John Wick.
the guy in the Matrix, and John Wick was who was pictured in my head.
Yep, that's it. That's a done
And so that's how it was working.
They both have kind of long hair and a beard.
Yeah,
So,
I
I'll give you
wasn't
that.
even joking. I wasn't even
No, I know.
joking.
Well, so
that's-
does Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, I like Stapleton much more. I'm a Stapleton fan. I would probably say Phoenix ends up with a better
No,
career.
I'm gonna go Joaquin.
I would
Phoenix.
take either career, though.
Now that I know who he was, I was Stapleton, but now that I've got the right guy, Joaquin.
Next one, a
Phoenix.
little more difficult.
Second down.
Seth Rogen, 43 years old today. Ultimately better career, Seth Rogen or Dabo Sweeney?
He's the guy that's the studio, right? He's
Yeah.
producing it and
Yeah.
acting. Love that show, by the way. Love that.
And he's
show.
such a talented guy. Like, I never thought Seth Rogen from Freaks and Geeks would be kind of the Hollywood power that he is. But, I mean, he's just such a talented writer.
Are you watching that
Yeah.
show, The Studio?
Oh, yeah.
Does it give you any vibes of Studio something on the Sunset Strip? You remember
No.
that short lived?
Not at all.
Okay, nothing at all like that.
No,
okay.
this is.
Well, it is inside the industry. I
Yeah,
didn't see
but I
that,
mean, I just wondered
that
if
was
there
a
was-
spoof off of Saturday Night Live a little bit.
Yeah,
This
it was.
This is in movie making.
Yeah,
It's
I will say
high quality comedy.
The only
Okay.
thing I don't like about this is I think they're trying to do way too much Curb humor. Like when he's on the set.
How could you say
and
too much?
And Sarah Polley, is directing this film.
Yeah.
And he is just like blundering and stepping over everything and completely. Like there's got to be a level that it wouldn't go past.
Have you seen the next episode after that?
I've seen The Missing Reel, you mean?
The Missing Reel, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen all 4.
Yeah, me too.
But
I
I
was
just-
disappointed.
I
Like,
just
was
think
about
it's
to
going a
binge it.
little too much.
Yeah.
That's my only fear with this.
Yeah, I had a few cocktails and things the other night, and I was watching it. Yeah. By the way, go check the Darian Reed reaction video. That was in the middle of that. I was in the middle of watching Studio.
Oh,
and
Taylor caught you in the middle of
yeah, and I kept waiting for somebody else to do the video, and I was like, yeah, I'll knock it out real quick.
Yep.
And I was watching, and I was disappointed that I thought the whole season had dropped. I'm always debating whether I want the whole season to drop on all these shows.
I like it dropping.
I do too.
Yeah.
You just got to be disciplined. It's like,
yeah.
you get a good bag. You gave me that bag of pop chips.
Yeah.
And I could eat the whole bag, but I
That's
just
right.
don't need to. I could eat a whole box of cereal. You just don't need
So
to.
you want it to all drop?
I want it to all drop,
I'll
and then-
watch it on my pace.
Yeah, because there's Friday and Saturday nights are different for me than a regular school night.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I can push forward. I can look at it and say it's midnight, but I can stay up till 1.
But the frustrating thing is
Keep
when
it
you
weekly.
the frustrating thing, gosh, is when you don't know they drop weekly because you've on late and you're like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Let's go to episode 4, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not available next Thursday.
Yeah, that's what happened on Studio.
Yeah.
I watched 1, and I liked it. I watched 2. Then I got some time,
Yeah.
and I'm in a good place. So boom, 3. And is it
I
3
went-
or 4?
it's
Whatever.
4 right
Yeah,
now.
4.
I went
and I was
from-
like,
Yeah. Oh, come
After
on.
White Lotus was wrapping up, I was like, damn, I don't have anything to watch. And I've got like 5 shows now.
Me too.
What all
And they're
you
all
got,
coming
too?
up. So I've got the Friends and Neighbors, the
Yeah,
John
me.
Hamm.
Okay.
I've got the Studio.
Me.
I've got this Icon James Bond that I'm about to wrap up.
Oh, no,
But I'm going to
watch
look
that.
at.
Icon
I'm telling
James
you, if you like James Bond or these others,
I'm watching all the films.
I've got The Last of Us.
watch that.
I just started The Pit, so I've got that one.
What do you think about the Pit? Jennifer's 3 episodes in. I've watched 1 of them.
I don't. It seems like it might get a little redundant.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same
yeah.
way.
I
Does
mean-
it not, Jim?
we
You
like-
can only have so many emergency operations. I mean,
we like different stuff. I don't know how they can do a season 2.
yeah.
And it's really
But
about just
first-
telling us every side of healthcare, right? That's the way it seemed to me on first episode.
Well, it's not woke, but it's got a message about our health industry
Yeah.
throughout it. I just like it. I like it, and I texted Bethany, and I said, I don't know why you and I were not closer. When I just like we like the same things.
My ex-wife, for everybody out there. Yeah.
But I was like, I texted her. I was like, Lance is gonna hate this if he watches it, I think, but you and I love it. It's just because you had said,
Well, she
loved
watches some bad TV. But
And I do too.
She sprays the board.
That's my point. Her and I are a lot alike, and we'll watch bad TV.
Oh, and Black Mirror too. So I've got a ton of stuff.
No, we were talking
I love
Black.
it.
We were talking Black Mirror.
Can't
last
wait to
night.
get home tonight.
Yeah. Like Say Bear last night. I was like, somebody brought up Black Mirror, and I said, LT was talking about that, and I said, for LT to call something dark, and he goes, "You hate it, don't you?" And I said, "I watched that one episode." He goes, "You shouldn't have started with the first
That's
episode."
what everybody says. That's what
That's like,
Tyler
it was
said,
the first
yeah.
episode. How can I not
know,
start
but
with
Tyler
it?
literally said it
that
on the
just
show.
sets the bar for like the disturbing things
Yeah.
you can get into.
And so I can't go past that first episode. Was so horrible, and Say Bear and I was joking. We were joking last night. I was like, for LT to call something dark.
Well, it's the first thing I thought when he was like, no, it's really dark. I was like, well, I ain't watching it.
Yeah.
If LT.
And that there's 7 seasons of it?
I know.
I can't be that dark and disturbing for 7 seasons.
Man, it is so good. I mean, and I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. If you ever liked Twilight Zone growing up, this is Twilight Zone on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
I guess I've seen one other episode where you have to pedal to help American Idol or something.
Yeah.
Yep. You gotta run on a treadmill to earn
I
credits.
think the
use
one
that for
Dunaway would
living.
like and could relate to is the Bryce Dallas Howard, the episode where she's got her social media score, and like everywhere she goes, like you see somebody and you can see their social media score, and if you do something that is like negative, your social media score goes down. And so she's like trying to...
It's always the scoreboard?
It's always the scoreboard. I think you would love it, and it just completely comes off the rails.
Oh, I bet it does.
Third down.
I'm watching Hacks. I never watched Hacks. I'm watching Hacks. It's
Okay,
not bad.
this date in 1958, the first ever Major League Baseball game played in California as the San Francisco Giants beat the Dodgers 8-0. Historically, more underachieving franchises in California in Major League Baseball or the NFL? So, Dodgers, Giants. I think the Giants have overachieved probably. I think the Dodgers have underachieved.
Historically, they've underachieved?
Angels have historically massively underachieved.
And the Padres, too.
Yeah, and the Padres.
All right.
Football-wise, I mean, San Francisco has not won a championship since 1994.
Yeah, I mean, they had one good window, and that was it.
Chargers never won one, got to one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Rams have 2. The Raiders...
They won 2 while they were out there.
Talked about Madden last week. I mean, they couldn't get over the Pittsburgh Steelers hump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think both Major League Baseball and the NFL have been drastically underachieving.
So the Raiders have 3?
I think that's right. 1980, which was Super Bowl 15.
Yeah, you always forget the Tom Flores one. So they won the Madden one, the Flores one, and then
they got one more Flores one.
They got
2 Flores?
Didn't they beat the Redskins in 83 with Marcus Allen going
Yeah, they got a
off?
Marcus Allen,
Yeah.
they got a Jim Plunkett, and a Kenny Stabler.
Yeah,
That's right.
those
So
are
they
the
got
3.
3. And then they played for another one against your Bucks and lost that one. Bill Callahan coached.
So that's 3. The Rams have 2. I think San Francisco's got 5.
The Rams only have 2?
That's it. Played in 4.
So San Francisco won 3 under Walsh, 2 under Seifert. Is that right?
I think that's right.
And Harbaugh lost 1?
Harbaugh lost 1, and now Shanahan's lost 2.
Shanahan's lost 2.
Have the Angels ever made it to the World Series?
Yes, once against Barry Bonds.
So the Tampa Bay Rays have been to more World Series twice.
Yeah, the Angels are probably the most underachieving franchise of all of these.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
And I would think the Chargers are right behind them.
Yeah. The Chargers have at least played in 1 Super Bowl. They lost to the 49ers.
I think the difference in
You
this
couldn't
could
do
be
basketball because basketball was going to blow it up.
Yeah,
with
the Lakers
Clippers and the Kings.
Yeah, but the Lakers and the Warriors would
Yeah.
more than make up for it.
But the Clippers and Kings historically.
I think I would go baseball because of the Angels. I think that's the most underachieving of all the ones we've mentioned.
I would say baseball too. Angels and Padres historically more bad years than good years.
Yeah.
I could go either way on that.
I mean,
It's a
the
good question.
Chargers consistently good.
Well, the Phillip Rivers era Chargers, like the Super Bowl they actually went to was Stan Humphries, right?
Right. Yeah. And that was, by the way, the Stan Humphrey Super Bowl was the last time the 49ers have won a championship.
Yeah. And it was Bobby Ross coaching Stan Humphries. And those Phillip Rivers teams, they would have like 14 wins, it felt like every year, and would never make
That's
up.
almost as bad as your Dolphins.
Yeah.
What do you mean? The
I mean,
space
your
between?
Dolphins obviously hadn't won it since 72, so 50-plus years. But just where San Francisco has been as an organization and to never be able to win it again.
I know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Looks like now the Dolphins, they're trading probably Jalen Ramsey and maybe Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's just so frustrating, man. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
4th down.
Nobody cares about my pain.
This date in 1955, McDonald's was opened in Des Plaines, Illinois. What is the safest brand that is out there? Like, I think we've got, like, Bud Light survived what was deemed a controversy, and a lot of people boycotted that product, and Bud Light.
Yeah, strong
They
and good. Budweiser, strong brand.
Great American brand, didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
I don't think a McDonald's or Coca-Cola could ever go under.
I think.
Would you guys agree with that?
McDonald's is shaky.
They can go under though.
I think they could.
I know of one McDonald's that has gone under, and it was over, and there might be a reason behind this, the one by Vulcan.
Yeah.
But that's the only one I've ever seen close.
But you think of Coca-Cola, they took their leading brand and said, we're going to take that away from you and give you a new one of these.
We still drink it.
And everybody was like, it just doesn't taste as good, but I'm going to keep drinking it. And they're like, well, if it doesn't taste as good, we'll give you the other one back. And then it exploded beyond anything it ever had been.
Yeah, but if I ask you the most American brand out there, what is it?
When you first said that, General Motors was the first thing that came to mind, but I don't know that that's...
Yeah,
to me, it's Coca-Cola.
It's Coca or Budweiser.
It's Coca-Cola to me or Budweiser, but it's Coca-Cola to me until I spent 12 days in the North, and I can't tell you how many places I went. Yankee freaking Stadium is not a Coca-Cola pour.
Yeah, it's
Yankee
crazy.
Stadium.
Yeah.
I can't go to Yankee Stadium and have a Coke and a hot dog?
Yeah.
Come on.
Reagan Airport's the same way in D.C. Well, I was in Reagan
Everywhere
Airport. You can't
I
go
went
anywhere.
Everywhere I went up there, it was not Coke, not Coke,
You
not
know,
Coke.
we don't have to relive the Bud Light controversy, but I don't think there's anything that could happen to one of those brands. I mean, you tell me what Coca-Cola could endure and continue to be the biggest brand. Like, I don't think there's anything that could side.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Well, it's the same thing. People like their taste, and they might get upset about something, but eventually they're like, yeah, but I like the way it tastes better than any of the other alternatives.
Why are you going to punish yourself?
Yeah, and that's what
I was
happens
telling
is
people with Bud Light. Well, you drank Bud Light for 25 years, and because of a video, you're not going to drink it. So you're going to punish yourself because of this.
Yeah.
And what? McDonald's French fries is never going anywhere. They're just not.
I'm telling you, man.
So you think one day, in 50 years, if McDonald's was off the table, it wouldn't shock you?
I think in my lifetime. I think it's because of the workforce, and I think it's struggling. You heard it here first.
McDonald's is struggling.
Check the stocks.
I've never seen an empty Chick-fil-A. I'll point that out.
McDonald's does a lot better in countries outside of America.
Okay, I'm talking about U.S. McDonald's.
But I think the test of this
props up the U.S. McDonald's
is how many restaurants are now a different type of. So in other words, there are a lot of Shoney's that are now Mexican restaurants. Right. You don't ever see a
Pizza Huts.
Yeah, Pizza Huts or Mexican and Chinese restaurants. You don't see a McDonald's become a Mexican
just
restaurant.
around the table. Last time you had McDonald's.
Oh, it's been a very long time.
Last time you had McDonald's.
I was on the way back from the beach or something. I got to tell you this. I've got the numbers.
Mine was on the way back from the beach, too. That back way coming back from the Floribama, there's that one McDonald's. I stopped there
right
and
on
got
the corner before you turn to the long stretch before you hit the interstate.
Yeah, I think I got a burger.
Yep.
And it was good.
How was customer service?
You ordered on a kiosk, and somebody yelled out my number, and I grabbed my burger and said thank you.
Did you feel American in there? No, I did. Yeah.
So
last time you had McDonald's.
Last weekend, a customer canceled on me, so I got the Minecraft Happy Meal.
Okay, so global system-wide sales, over $130 billion for the full year for 2024.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I see the signs.
You know how bad you have to be to go under
Global sales increased by almost 0.5%. The U.S. decreased by 1.4%.
There we go. Down 1.4% in America.
International development increased 4.1%.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're doing $130 billion selling $2 cheeseburgers. Like, I don't think it can ever go away.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Lance on this.
All right, that's our 4 downs today. The show also being brought to you by.
So they're doing $2 billion a week.
Yeah. Ain't bad.
Oh my gosh.
Globally.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Globally.
Yeah.
That's not just America.
Down 1.4% if I own a franchise.
And you
here.
stuck it to that Brothers and the Founder, because I just saw that for the first time a couple of months ago.
Hey, Dr. B bringing this part of the show today. Tell us about Dr. B.
Dr. B, absolute best in the business. When I started to thin out a few years ago, I asked around. Everybody said Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to call. I immediately did, went to see him, scheduled that consultation, and now 3+ years later, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. I do that non-invasive treatment, 30 minutes, 3 times a week on the couch. That is it. T3's got that new test. It's so easy, painless, affordable. Takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical form. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money. Critical time while you're losing your hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
And our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken bringing you this final hour of the show. Champy's Chicken right there
in Alabaster for over a decade at that location is where you find our man Sterling Brownie was by there recently. You can go by there and get always cooked to order fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order. It is so delicious. Hand-cut chicken fingers, they're huge. Get your wife to order an order of chicken fingers, and she won't eat them all. You can have extras. They got the po' boys and, of course, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's all right there with Sterling and the crew. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champie'schicken.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you: Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, I already told you about Champions. I'll tell you more about them, but they bring you this final hour of the show. We're about to jump into just a variety of different things around the board, but I do want to remind you that our friends at Odie's gives you an opportunity to get out there tomorrow night for trivia and, of course, a great lunch today.
Absolutely. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis for more than 35 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Odie's Team Trivia every Wednesday night, the original location in Crestline. Live music at both locations every Friday and Saturday night. Great place to sit on the patio, eat the incredible food, drink the cold drinks, and watch some Major League Baseball. You can do it at Odie's Tavern. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution, it's Odie's Tavern.
Okay, can you give me SEC win totals first?
Is this pre-Nico departure?
It's after Nico's departure. Okay. Yeah, adjusted by Taylor and Scott here. And it's down, you heard Clay reference it, down just 1 to 8.5. So they go from the 9.5 where you have Alabama, where you have Georgia, where you have Texas. Tennessee was there. Now you fall down to where you're with LSU and Ole Miss in that 8-5 range. LT, give me first a reaction to it only dropping 1. And does that change the way you would play Tennessee now?
I probably would play Tennessee's over here because I think with Heupel, they're always going to be good. I think even with Nico, kind of the floor was 8-4. And I do think they're going to be able to attract a really good quarterback in this portal. I don't know who that guy is yet.
Yeah.
I would love to see, and that was one of the questions. I know we went along with Clay, but I wanted to see, give us an example of some of the DMs you're getting from quarterbacks that would want to go to Tennessee.
It may, and this is a guy that we haven't watched a whole lot of, but if you're the South Alabama kid, would you have tapped the brakes on North Carolina and at least explored Tennessee? I'd rather be at Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of quarterback he is, so you've seen him more than I. Is he a running quarterback? Because you're not running.
He's a dual purpose.
Yeah, you need to be a quick passing, quick thinking.
Yeah, I'll give you his numbers, Jim. He wasn't. I mean, look, you're playing a different. I completely understand Sunbelt and SEC are not comparable.
You can give me these numbers. It's not going to matter.
You're going to completely say, I don't care what the numbers are.
Yeah, give me style.
Well, I told you, Gio Lopez is his name. He completed 66% of his passes, averaged 232 a game, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks. That's good numbers.
Yeah. I mean, if he completed 66% of his passes, that sounds like he was getting the ball out quickly, short passing.
Averages 5.5 yards per carry, 7 more touchdowns there.
Yeah. So that's not bad. No, absolutely.
I mean, his yards per attempt are 8.2. What did you say? Quick passes? I mean, 8.2 is not terrible yards per attempt.
No, it's really good.
No, I mean,
I
think
I bet that's going to be sort of what Nico's yards per pass was.
If you're an Eli Holstein and you saw him come onto the scene last year.
Oh, great example.
At Pittsburgh. I mean.
He tore it up at times, too, didn't he?
I mean, if I'm Heupel, do you want to come back to the SEC? I don't know. You had a great season, but does anybody know that? It's like the old tree that falls in the woods.
And what could Pittsburgh be paying him?
Not a lot. I mean, you saw Narduzzi just a couple of years ago when Jordan Addison left as a Biletnikoff winner, went to USC, was a non-factor. Now we know how good Addison is, one of the best twos in all of the NFL right now.
All right, so according to Keith, a lot of Tennessee fans want the Kansas State quarterback.
Not Avery Johnson.
It is Avery Johnson.
They want Avery Johnson?
The kid with the purple Corvette, yeah.
He was 12th in the league in passing in the Big 12
last year. He wasn't good last year.
I don't know why you want him.
He doesn't fit the system.
58% passing, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. I think SEC fans would say, I hope you get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would go back to the well on a former SEC quarterback and Haynes King. I mean, it's not a great fit for the system, but Haynes King's a really good quarterback.
I think Haynes can throw the ball and run it.
By the way, if I'm picking a Big 12 quarterback, it's probably Noah Fafita or Rocco Becht or somebody like that before I go Avery Johnson.
Forget Rocco Becht. I mean, what could Fafita be making at Arizona?
Now, again, he's only a 60% passer, and here's the issue with Noah Fafita, and I think we all like him. 18 touchdowns, 12 picks. That is way too much.
Yeah, but you don't have that problem with Heupel. They're always wide open. Never any coverage.
Gosh, who was I thinking of? When we were talking about this earlier.
SEC rule gets in the way, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Because you got to think the Texas quarterback room would have somebody that you would want, right?
Oh, I was thinking of Kevin Jennings at SMU. Took them to the playoffs. Would you like him?
I just didn't trust it. I don't trust his arm.
I don't have his numbers in front of me.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
going to be about the same as the South Alabama kid.
Yeah, what we're talking about with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I liked Kevin
beggars
Jennings.
can't be choosers, though. I'm
Yeah.
desperate. I would take him. Yeah.
I liked Kevin Jennings. Now, his performance against Penn State wasn't great, and that would concern me.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Jennings, I've got his numbers right here. 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
That's a bit high.
Yeah, that is a bit high. Didn't
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he ran for 354 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, you don't want to be in this situation. Ultimately, is what we're getting at right here. The options are not great. You had built your program around a guy you thought was going to be your starter for 2 or 3 years, and he bolted, and that's going to put you in a bad situation.
Interesting. Okay, a little bit more. We saw the win totals there. Before we get to more football, I got a little developing basketball news. John Rothstein reporting that the Purdue-Alabama game, the return game of that home that was in West Lafayette last year in Tuscaloosa coming up, November 13th. That's going to be close to the opener, right? November 13th in Tuscaloosa. I just told you Braden Smith is back for them, so that could be number 3 in the country, Purdue, playing in Tuscaloosa against, top 10, top 15 Alabama by the time you get there. I mean, he's talking about top 5 team Purdue coming in with Braden Smith, their star back.
I mean, where was Purdue on that consensus?
They were number 3. That's why. I was trying to sound smart, but you brought up the little qualifier of how I know I project them at number 3. They'll be top 5 team anyway. Top 5, top 15 matchup when you throw Alabama into that in Tuscaloosa at Coleman Coliseum. There's Braden back. So there it is. Purdue and Alabama. Purdue with the release today, November 13th in Tuscaloosa.
Is Trey Kaufman-Renn coming back? Do we know? Because as good as Braden Smith was in a couple of 30-point games, Kaufman-Renn was their leading scorer last year, but I don't know if he's coming back. I know he's got eligibility, but I don't know where he's projected.
I think I saw where he was coming back too. Mm-hmm. But don't hold me to that. Little basketball there.
And then they had the 7'4" freshman last year.
They always do.
Obviously be back.
They always got a big guy.
How do you find 7-footers
I don't know,
all
but they
the time?
do it every single time. 15th Annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 9 through 11 on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City, and it is totally free to the public. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show, 80 boats on vehicles on display. Lake lifestyle vendors will be there, food trucks, beer garden, live music all weekend, and tons of giveaways. Fireworks every Friday, or that Friday, honoring our great United States veterans, Mermaids and Mateys parade on Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com gives you all the info. And for the first time in the history of Lakefest, AmFirst offering a 0.5% off interest rates, which could save you $100 a month and up to $12,000 over the life of the loan. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
This will excite Taylor. Taylor, I'm going to go ahead and credential us for that November 13th Purdue-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa.
Y'all got that covered?
We went to almost 50 basketball games last year between us.
Basketball show live after the game from that one.
We'll have a basketball show live after Purdue-Alabama.
I don't know if I've been to 50 basketball games in my life.
I know I haven't. Yeah. I'm certain I haven't.
Crazy season of coverage. Okay, back to football now. Can we show the Vice President of the United States dropping the trophy there and Travion Henderson saving the day? A number of people caught it on social media. President Trump with the Ohio State team being honored. J.D. Vance, an Ohio State grad. They go over to the trophy. Now, if you know anything about the college football playoff trophy, the top part comes off, and he tries to pick it up together. Oop. And see, really, I don't think it was on the vice president as much as the other guy. Is that Travion who was helping him there?
I think so.
First of all, I didn't know it came apart.
I did not either.
So, I would hope that you would tell him that.
They always hold the gold part, and they kiss it and pass it around. They never have the base part.
I honestly, I've gotten to the point where I don't watch celebrations unless it's my team. Like Roy the other day, after he hit the putt, started bawling. I turned it off.
Oh, boy, you missed some good TV then.
It's made to pass around without the base. It was designed that way.
They probably should still tell Vice President Vance that, hey, this thing does come apart.
So you're saying if you're going to drop one part, drop the base, not the gold-plated part.
And that's the part you don't worry about. This one's it's not a crystal ball. It's built hard. Somebody let the vice president know he did not break it, though. It's built that way.
Yeah, that's right.
It's built to be in two pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know where you guys, your natural reactions are, but I always use the foot when I drop something.
I know.
I'm pretty good at catching things with the foot, too.
How bad would the foot hurt, though, if you drop that?
That seemed to be a heavy base.
Trophy base on it?
That's probably got good Italian footwear on.
So you were going to try to hacky sack it back up for you?
Yeah, and that just breaks the fall. It's not necessarily that I'm going to be able to catch it, but like if I drop said cell phone, if I drop a bottle, a glass, whatever.
You almost try to guide it to the ground.
Yeah.
Parachute it.
That's it.
I did think about it. When I saw the video, I immediately thought of my man Carlton Tinker, Carson's dad, who broke the
I forgot about that.
Broke the crystal football in Tuscaloosa.
But turned into a money-making operation for the school. They were able to sell pieces.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Carlton felt awful. I know.
There's a theory that was planned.
I know the Tinkers. They are great people, and he, trust me, he felt awful about it, but he also caught a lot of flack for it, too.
Okay, the other story that had everyone talking at poker last night.
Did you win?
I did not. I had my worst night of the year.
I just know you had brought it up 3 times.
Yeah,
I didn't know if
how long were you there?
Long enough to watch EG have a great night.
Oh, did she win?
She didn't win, but she had a great night.
You know how they say that a mattress is really important because you spend the majority of your life there? I don't know where you spend the majority of your life.
I try not to be home.
Not on a mattress.
Yeah. I know that.
There's going to be a time when I will be
bedridden and
so I'm trying to live my life. So I was at poker last night, golf later today, for those caring. But poker last night, I didn't play. I didn't play well. I had a lot of aces and fours, and I just can't win with aces and fours. But this was the talk.
That could be your memoir, by the way.
Aces and fours look good, but you can't win with them all the time. Colorado is retiring 2 jerseys. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy. Makes sense. Retire that one. They're also retiring Shedeur Sanders' jersey. So the 2 and the 12 being retired at the game coming up this weekend, broadcast on ESPN, the Black and Gold Day at Folsom Field. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter jersey retirement going on, the 2 and the 12.
I don't have a problem with this. I mean, arguably the best quarterback in their history. I mean, you could go to Cordell Stewart, but Darian Hagan, but I think I would say Shedeur is probably the most talented.
I've got their retired numbers.
Okay, can I just point out?
I know Darian Hagan's there.
Yeah, first I thought it was the Colorado State official account.
Uh-huh.
But it was Colorado State Barstool account.
You'll get hooked
but
in
it looked
that
official.
Yep.
But they tweeted real quickly, 13-12 record, 0 conference championship, 93 YouTube videos, well deserved. Talking about Shedeur retiring his jersey.
If you go pull Pat Mahomes' numbers when he was at Texas Tech, I don't think they were this good.
But did Texas Tech retire his number?
I bet they have now if they didn't back then.
I came in today. In fact, Scott had the graphic up on the screen as Tyler walked in. And what did you say, Tyler? They're already retiring their numbers?
Like they're already retiring Shedeur's number?
Yeah, Tyler was stunned at Shedeur.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, generational player and an Heisman Trophy winner.
But Ken, I did a little research on this after I saw the graphic and saw we were going to talk about it today. And this surprised me a little bit. So here's your retired numbers other than Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Bobby Anderson, who was a quarterback, running back in the 60s. Do not remember him.
No idea.
Byron White, who was a running back in the 30s. I clearly don't remember him. Joe Romick, I remember the name. He's an offensive lineman in the 60s.
I don't.
And then Rashawn Salam, which is the obvious one, right?
Heisman Trophy winner.
Heisman Trophy. You said Darian Hagan, not even retired. Darian Hagan was a great quarterback for them, number not retired.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart, not retired.
Cordell Stewart, not retired. Great quarterback.
I just thought Hagan for Bill McCartney, what they were doing at that point in time, he was like one of their first inner city LA guys they brought out.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, there was.
And Cordell was fantastic.
When they won the national championship, who was the quarterback?
Darian Hagan. It was Darian Hagan.
Yeah,
right?
91. Yeah, I think
91,
it was.
Yeah. The Bill McCartney years.
I mean, your national championship winning quarterback.
And then Cordell was a tremendous player for them.
Cordell was tremendous.
But here's where I agree it's automatic you retire Travis Hunter, except for what they, for some reason, did to Rashawn Salam, which I do not understand. Do you know they did not retire his number until after he died?
Are you kidding me?
When I say Colorado football's best player ever, you say?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah. All right. Before that, you would have said
Rashawn
Salam.
Yeah.
How did they not retire his number until he died? Was there some sort of acrimony? Was there a falling out?
I don't know. Somebody's asleep at the wheel. This is why you do it quickly, Tyler.
Yeah.
You don't have people like Brown saying, "Why'd you wait till he died?"
Well, but I mean, Rashawn Salam won the Heisman in 1994 and died in 2017.
Okay, but
2016.
Is it a lack of respect just for the athletic department? Like, is Chauncey Billups, is he retired? Do you have any idea? On basketball.
I'd have to go look at basketball. I don't know.
But to your point, he's their only Heisman Trophy winner before Travis Hunter.
No, I'm just saying if Chauncey isn't retired, I think it just shows you that there's just not like an appetite to retire a lot of players up there.
I saw the 30 for 30 on Rashaan Salam, and I know he went through some very difficult times after his playing career, and it is very unfortunate that he chose to take his own life. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible story. But I don't remember there being any hard feelings between he and Colorado. I could be wrong about that.
I don't know.
Katie Nida doesn't have her number retired?
I mean, I agree that Travis Hunter's an automatic. When you win a Heisman at a school, that retires numbers. Alabama does not retire numbers.
Yeah.
But if you win a Heisman at schools that retire numbers, it becomes automatic. I got Scott to look. Do you guys know on Auburn's current roster? Because you bring up, Scott was asking me. Yeah. Scott was asking me because you said, is it a retired number or a retired jersey?
That's different.
You make this point a lot.
I retire jerseys. I don't retire numbers.
Yeah.
We'll hang your jerseys in the rafters so we could have 3 12s up there.
Well, it's the way you have to do it. I mean, if we're going to be around, unless you believe.
Yeah.
So, Scott?
After going to Yankee Stadium, I sit there and I'm watching 97 round the bases after getting cut off from 73 who popped up to left field.
I know, because they got all those numbers retired.
There's
Scott,
nobody in single digits.
On this year's Auburn team, who's number 2?
Here it is right here. We're looking at the roster.
Is there a number 2?
There is no 2.
Well, show me the 7s. Is there a number 7? No?
There is
Roll down. There is not a 7.
Okay, what about a 34? Surely somebody wears Bo's 34, right?
No, those retired.
Surely not.
Yeah. I mean,
Towns Magoo almost got it.
But those are retired. Those numbers are retired.
That's what I'm saying. And when you start doing that, that's the result. Like, you end up with... if somebody, my point is, if somebody wins a Heisman and you're retiring numbers, you have to retire that number. There is no argument. And those are the 3 Heisman winners in Auburn. There's no argument about that. But if you start retiring numbers, at least for now, you got a 100-man roster. You're going to run out of numbers, and you can only duplicate so many.
Yeah,
I guess technically you could duplicate up to 200.
Retire the jersey, not the numbers, way I always go. And Colorado's doing it this weekend on national TV. Before you tell me about Dr. BLT. Have you done that yet?
Yep.
Okay. Excuse me, Hemphill. Before you tell me about Hemphill, I think a player you like a lot is in the portal. Cal running back Jaden Ott is in the transfer portal. Went in there yesterday. What do you think of him?
I thought of you when I saw this story, too.
I did, too.
Oh, I think he's a tremendous player. The timing of this is so weird. I guess I'm just speculating, probably didn't get the NIL he wanted, probably held out as long as he could. But there would definitely be a market for Jaden Ott.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
A great market for Jaden.
SEC market, Big Ten market.
He'll be at a better program than Cal for sure. I don't think Nico will be at as good a spot as Tennessee.
Oh, well, just because you bring up Tennessee, like Dylan Sampson, like he was the reason that they won 10 games last year.
Yeah, Jay Knott will upgrade. Nico will not upgrade.
Right.
We would all agree on that.
I agree with that.
I think you could put Jay Knott on any SEC team, and he's maybe their leading rusher.
Yeah,
I don't know an SEC team. I think he wasn't.
The portal can be hot and cold. Our friends at Hemphill bringing you our coverage today of college football.
205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Make sure that HVAC is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Spring weather in full effect. Right now, $1,000 off new HVAC units, plus 0% financing. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Inquire about more details. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew want to say congratulations to Alabama softball Audrey Vandergriff, who walked it off last night against number 2 Oklahoma. Alabama won the series. And you can enjoy great moments like that on the great TVs at Champy's, like baseball tonight. Whether you're watching the Braves, who beat the Blue Jays last night, or whatever, Champy's Chicken, the sort of a gathering place there in Alabaster on Highway 119. Great food for lunch and dinner, happy hour as well. The chicken is brined overnight, cooked to order. Nobody does it like Sterling. Go by there and say hi to him. It's Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Away on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Superspeedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Superspeedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The 15th annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by AmFirst, is May 9th through the 11th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. The Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show is totally free to the public. Bama's biggest in-water boat show, 80 boats, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, and live music all weekend long. There's fireworks on Friday night to honor veterans, a mermaid parade on Saturday, and free mimosas for Mama on Sunday. All by going to LoganMartinLakeFest.com, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Before Brownie tells us about the great Alexander Shunnarah, Rory McIlroy's win at the Masters was a ratings hit. 33% jump in ratings for the Masters this year. 12.7 million people watched the final round, the most watched golf event since 2018. Caused the books in Vegas to lose. 14.8% of the money was on Rory, and the Vegas people say Rory barely beat us. Small loss for the books.
Will they keep the light? Did they have the lights off last night?
It'll be fine.
Okay. Right,
it'll be fine. Do you know where the green jacket is made?
I've seen this story because there was one that got out on the open market bidding wise, and they thought it might have been an inside job.
It's not Holly Pond, Alabama?
No, but it's somewhere in the South, I think, Jim. Where is it?
It is not in the South.
Where is it?
In Cincinnati at Hamilton Tailoring. It's been made there since 1967. When the Cincinnati Enquirer this year went to inquire about the making of the green jacket, the owner, who has owned the company since the 1960s, said, I'd love to tell you about it, but they don't want me to talk about it. It'd be great for my business, but they don't. Who's they? The fine folks at Augusta.
Oh,
National.
yeah, there's no doubt about that. Do you know that it is rumored that I think it's the famous pimento cheese is made right here in Birmingham?
I've heard that it's.
Have you heard that rumor?
In the area, yeah.
Yeah, in the central Alabama area,
Yes.
but they will not confirm nor deny.
Is there any way that another tailor would try to bid to get that green jacket away?
Oh, you would love it, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you don't make a ton of them if you think about it. Every member gets one and every winner gets one.
No, but I mean, still, what does that do for your business, though?
Not much if you can't advertise
That's
it.
right. That's right. And you will lose it if you advertise it.
Now, the pimento cheese.
Yeah, but you don't think that there's a bunch of dudes that get their suits there that know internally and they tell people?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what those
yeah.
places are all about anyways,
Yeah.
referrals.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's hand stitched, the name inside the blazer.
Right.
The one Rory wore was not his. It's current members jacket who they think would fit.
Yeah, same
Rory,
size, right.
and they would throw him out there. Rory gets to wear that jacket publicly for 1 year.
That's right.
And then it has to stay on the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great video if you want to check it out of him touring the Champions locker room for the first time.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yep. Gets his own driving range and everything. But I just thought it
Driving
was
range.
cool. Yeah, the Champions have their own driving range, practice facility, whatever it's called.
Oh, on spot on the
Yeah. I'm just saying, no, it's a separate range is the way I understood it.
Now, there's two ranges there. One's for your everyday player, and then one's for tournament only. I would imagine they get a separate team preference or something like that.
The way I read it was the Champions have their own, maybe it's their own section
yeah.
of the range.
It's not a totally different one.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
a different range altogether. Just pretty cool. Thought that was all neat stuff, being the champion there. Tell us about Shunnarah.
Yeah, and it's our guy Alexander Shunnarah, champion in our community. That was a cheesy segue, wasn't it? Yeah. Alex would like it, though. His mission was to create a firm that could handle any issue this community faced. So they now handle not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
Okay, behind that guy, its head, does that say Hood Mart? Like Food Mart, but Hood Mart? H-O-O-D Mart?
That's Rich Paul he's talking to.
Yeah, founder of Clutch Sports.
It does look like it says
H-O-O-D, Hood Mart?
Yeah, but that's just a...
It's an artist rendering?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that's a painting.
It is.
It's pretty cool.
Tyler sounds like he says, Hood Mart?
Hood Mart is apparently trailer hoods.
Oh, okay.
Trailer hoods, food truck hoods, fire suppression systems.
Well, who doesn't need a good fire suppression system?
Yeah.
I get mine at Hood Mart.
Expectations.
I wish we were doing lives for Hood Mart.
92.
Have you suppressed your fire lately? If not,
Hood Mart.
Hood Mart.
Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire. What are the expectations for him this year? Is there pressure? Because apparently north of $22 million they paid for this roster.
Yeah, he's got all the pressure in the world, I think, Lance, because with this billionaire that has launched the NIL, you should be able to go get anybody you want. You should never have to say, our roster just...
Yeah, the problem, though, for Texas Tech, and again, what will add pressure is, Arizona State did it last year. If Arizona State can win the Big 12, how come you guys can't win the Big 12, especially with the money we're giving you? But I believe, at least right now, the Big 12 is a one-bid league. Would you guys agree with that?
I would agree 100%.
So that's where the problem is. I mean, I could see 4, 5, 10, and 2s, and it comes down to a tiebreaker.
Well, they scheduled out a conference like they're trying to get in the playoffs because they play Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State. So not a very difficult.
See, that's dangerous because to me, you've got to go in conference. You've got to go probably 8-1.
Okay, you got to win the league.
Yeah, you got to win the league. But I really think you would have to go 8-1.
We're at Utah. That's a tough one for you.
Oh,
you always like Utah. Yeah. We're at Houston.
It's going to be tougher.
Kansas for homecoming.
A tough game.
At Arizona State. I just don't know if they're going to be. It's a tough game.
They got Tyson back. They got the quarterback back, Levitt.
Oak State at home. At Kansas State. BYU at home. UCF at home. At West Virginia to end the year.
I think there's multiple losses.
Yeah, I don't think they're a playoff team. But there again, if they're 10-2 and just miss out on the conference championship game.
Oh, you can stomach that.
Yeah, you can stomach that one, and then it's all about next year with all the money we're able to spend. I'm fascinated. I've said it a million times. I'm fascinated by this program. This will be the great test of can you legitimately buy a national championship anywhere in America? Like if you could would you give me this? If I can buy a national championship at Texas Tech, in theory, I could probably do it at any Power 5 school, right?
Can you give me consensus basketball back before we get to trash? The consensus basketball? Because in basketball, they're spending the money too. It's a $10 million roster. They got Jeremy Toppin to come back, not go to the NFL. They're projected 13th behind Alabama, BYU, Kentucky, Kansas. There's Texas Tech, right ahead of Arkansas, who also has unlimited NIL money. Wow. Boy, in that section right there, Michigan, who's been spending all around Alabama, Michigan, who's been spending, BYU, Kentucky, Kansas, Texas Tech, Arkansas, like the money being spent to those programs, and there's Alabama, Nate Oates, and them keeping up.
Yeah, I mean, based on that, Texas Tech's not even getting as far as they were last year.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, trash. Before we get there, Brady, tell us about NASCAR.
All right, it's coming back to the Talladega Superspeedway, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. It is the Jack Links 500 weekend, April 25th through 27th. If you have not been part of the intensity of Talladega, you are missing out, my friends. White knuckles all the way around that track, just high-speed entertainment at Talladega Superspeedway. Go see it for yourself. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. The Jack Links 500 weekend, April 25th through 27th, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Bag up, Terry. What it reverse, Terry? What it reverse? Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Bud Light, easy to drink, LT, and easy to enjoy.
Scott, can you pull the Masters photos just real quick before I forget these? But again, these were sent over by the Andersons. They do this every single year. I did get the invite. I don't know if I'll get it next year, but
not if you're bringing us. Well, I've dressed like this before.
So that is the Andersons right there, and their food setup here. They replicate or recreate, I should say, the Champions Dinner of the Masters. There it is.
Oh, look at that.
That is such a unique idea.
Yeah.
And they do it on the Sunday night.
The Sunday night. And have a bunch of friends over, watch final round, and eat that. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I love that layout. Love that idea. Love the pictures on the refrigerator. That's good type family. Look at that.
It's a lot of photos.
It is.
So,
good magnets.
Our man Zach contributed this trash a couple of days ago. I don't know if you've heard this story, Jeeves. Very interested, but this from Fox News. Declassified document posted to the CIA's website is raising eyebrows with claims of an alleged UFO attack on Soviet forces. You guys heard about this at all?
UFO attack on Soviet forces.
The viral report summarizes an article published by the Canadian weekly World News. This was initially released to the public May of 2000. The first-hand report describes retaliatory alien attack after Soviet soldiers reportedly shot down UFO flying over a military base.
So what I'm hearing here, the aliens are part of NATO.
This gets interesting.
Now, okay.
According to the document, information acquired by the U.S. intelligence revealed reports of, quote, low-flying spaceships in the shape of a saucer over a Soviet unit participating in training exercises. Officials wrote that for unknown reasons, soldiers launched a surface-to-air missile at the unknown aircraft, causing it to crash near the military base. Report describes how, quote, 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from the downed spaceship, fused together to create one single object while emitting a loud buzzing noise. The spherical object reportedly then burst into a blinding bright light. Eyewitness testimonies claim 23 soldiers suddenly, quote, turned into stone poles. 2 men reportedly survived the encounter because they were standing in a shaded area, were not completely exposed to the blast of light. Officials wrote that the remains of the petrified soldiers and the spaceship were transported to a secret scientific research base near Moscow, where it was discovered the soldiers' molecular structure matched that of limestone. Document claims scientists believe the cause was a, quote, source of energy not yet known to humans.
So, and I know this was audience submitted, so Tyler didn't have time to research any of this. Do we have any photos? Are there photos? Do you know?
I have not seen photos.
Yeah.
A little biblical. It's limestone instead of salt.
It's true. Look back at Sodom and Gomorrah, turned to a pillar of salt.
Yeah.
Who didn't listen to that, Jim? Lot's wife.
Yeah, Lot's wife.
Lot's wife. We said it. God said it as clear as he could. Lot's wife.
I would say that is there a chance that that was us that was in that unidentified flying object?
Us being the United States of America. Oh,
Yeah.
this is from the Economic Times.
Yeah.
Getting more credible by the minute,
Tyler,
right?
Tyler, go back. What's the date on the story? After you get past the pop-up for
Well,
the...
I'd love to tell you, but this is what
Date on this Fox story is actually 2 days ago.
It's believed to have occurred in 1989 or 1990, and the file was obtained by the KGB or obtained by the CIA from the KGB in 1991.
I do need to bring up the obvious. We didn't have cell phones back then, so we couldn't snap these
That's true.
immediate pictures.
That's why, now that I got the details, okay.
Yeah.
If there are no photos, that is an understandable reason why.
Somebody
it wasn't
probably
released
took
until 2000, though.
Somebody probably took a picture on a little Kodak disposable, and
That's
it's
right.
sitting in somebody's drawer in a desk in an office they don't use anymore, waiting to be developed. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of space, Blue Origin's all-female crew, which included Katy Perry, completed their trip into space on Monday morning. Now, the flight lasted around 11 minutes, traveled more than 60 miles above Earth, according to Blue Origin, passing the Kármán line, is that right? Kármán line, which at 62 miles above sea level is considered to be the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. Now, along with Perry, the crew included Blue Origin owner Jeff Bezos' journalist fiance, Lauren Sanchez, who, by the way, is also a helicopter pilot, journalist Gail King,
from
former
CBS.
NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, bioastronautics research scientist and civil rights activist Amanda Gwynn, and filmmaker Kiri-Ann Flynn rounded out the crew.
So they made it and they're back safe now?
Yep.
Upon landing back on Earth and exiting the capsule, Perry raised her hand to the sky, kissed the ground. Speaking after touchdown, Perry said she brought a daisy with her into space in honor of her 4-year-old daughter, Daisy. She went on to say, quote, "I feel super connected to love." They also said that Katy Perry was singing "What a Wonderful World" while the group was in space. How weird do you think that flight was?
Well, it was probably a bit awkward. I mean, you're close together in there. Katie's singing. Somebody's probably throwing up.
About how close, about how long does that flight last?
It was just shy of 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Or at least that was the time they spent up in space.
Yeah.
Just low level work.
That is a long
Yeah.
11 minutes to be trapped in there with that group of people.
I would agree.
I mean, Katy Perry's...
Yeah, but everybody's there as a PR stunt, so you're not actually interacting with anyone. You're interacting with a commercial version of them.
I can't get the little submarine out of my head that went down and...
Well, I mean, we're going to do this a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. I mean, wouldn't you be thinking about that when you got on board of this?
Yeah, I mean, eventually there will be a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is not automatic, just like a tour bus could run off the rails or...
But it is pretty remarkable we're now to the point where 2 American businessmen are actively sending manned spacecraft into orbit. I mean, that is pretty remarkable to think about.
And doing, I don't want to say as good of a job as NASA, but...
Well, I mean, they're going and coming back.
NASA had a lot of hiccups.
I know. These are going and making it back, so...
Not to go with the storyline here, but NASA did a lot of the legwork.
Oh, you couldn't do it with what NASA had already done. I don't disagree with you. Yes.
So a man arrested in St. Petersburg after he allegedly splashed an employee with urine he had bottled up because he was angry that he hadn't been given a job interview has been arrested.
Yeah.
Now,
hard to get it now, by the way.
51 years old, John Knotton was accused of throwing bottles of urine inside of doors, molding, and more, hitting at least one employee. Now, authorities said Knotton filled multiple bottles with pee, went to the front doorway, splashed the contents into the building because he was mad that they would not give him a job interview. Now, the urine splashed on bare legs of an employee along with merchandise valued at an estimated $1,000. He then allegedly fled on foot, was chased by the victim, at which point he raised a skateboard in the air as if to hit him. Knotton was charged with felony battery, criminal mischief, and aggravated assault. By the way, Knotton is also a registered sex offender. That might be the reason he didn't get the job interview.
The urine is the least concerning thing all of a sudden.
You're not getting the job, by the way. I had a little one, probably about 11 years old, I was at a music event with my son Friday night, and the 11-year-old started to vomit, caught the little first bit of it in hand, and then holding it in, mom escorting out. And I thought to myself,
was this your truck?
No, this was in the pew in front of us at the music event. My son was singing in a choir, and I thought to myself, my instinct would have been to maybe as a little kid to turn around to vomit.
Yeah,
and
get away from your
family. If the kid had vomited on me,
yeah, that's bad.
How horrible. The urine, being thrown urine on me or vomiting on me.
Oh, I'd rather have urine.
Urine.
Yeah. Every day of the week.
Yeah,
really?
Vomit.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't even like it when I get my own urine on me. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened. I can't imagine getting someone else's urine on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
But you're choosing that over vomit.
No, over vomit, yes.
Yeah.
If given the choice, would I rather you splash me with your urine or your vomit? I will 100% of the time pick your urine.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can battle through a day with somebody else's urine spilled on you.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
With the vomit, I think you got to take it to the house immediately.
Every time I see the stain, I'm going to think of your urine.
Oh, I'm going instantly. I'm out, no matter what's happening. Urine or vomit.
Yeah,
I mean, FOMO Jim, I don't care. We could be having the best time at the Floribama. If somebody throws urine or vomit on me, I'm out.
Yeah, but I'm with Lance. Like, if I had something I absolutely had to do.
Let's say you're in the Masters and you can't go back out.
And some protester throws urine on me?
Yeah, and urine hits your legs or whatever. I think I can. I'm going to get a water bottle and I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to try to clean it up.
Am I in the lead?
No, I'm saying you're just a spectator.
Oh, I'm just a spectator. I thought I was playing in the Masters.
No, I'm just saying.
You're right. I'm going to go pour water where that urine is and try to
water it down. Yeah.
But I think with the vomit, maybe I try to buy a new outfit altogether. I don't know.
Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah.
There is merch at the Masters.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah. I feel like the Masters would give me an outfit at that point.
Like you're in the nursery at church and you piss your pants and they radio down and they say, hey, can we get a size 5
XL?
911 caller in Chatham County, Georgia, had a very hard time getting through to dispatchers when he thought someone was breaking into his home. When he finally did get through, he said the dispatcher was ordering breakfast. Dylan Johnson started his morning by calling 911. Quote, my wife called me while I was at work at 9:30, said someone was snooping around the house, knocking on the doors, banging on windows and stuff. So he called the county's non-emergency line first. I think I would have called the emergency line, followed by 911 3 times. Finally got an answer at 9:31 a.m. after trying for about 6 minutes. Not very efficient from the 911 operators there. I guarantee the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt, she would have been on top of it a lot quicker than 6 minutes.
I would agree.
I've talked to a 911 operator before. They don't. That seems to be a job where they get a lot more non-emergency calls than they get emergency calls.
Quote, I was panicking. My wife was home alone with my 5-month-old daughter. I was coming home not knowing what I was coming home to, Johnson went on to say. After about 3 minutes into Johnson's 911 call, heard the dispatcher talking to others around her and appearing to order breakfast. Quote, McGriddle. I'm sorry, what? Can be heard on the 911 call. Johnson said he was stunned by what he heard. He went on to say, if it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't believe it could happen to someone else. That's how unbelievable the story was. When police arrived, Johnson said whoever was at his house had already left, said his wife was shaken up, but his family was okay.
Well, that's good. And the guy got the McGriddle, I assume. Jim McDonald's back in the news.
Know, back in the story.
They're not going away.
They're not going away, Jim.
And finally,
McGriddles.
McGriddles, what?
It's a little
you guys
too
like McGriddles?
Little too sweet.
That extra syrup that's kind of
much.
Yeah, it's a little much for me.
Yeah,
kind of lays heavy on my chest.
I don't feel like it's a good design. If I'm eating breakfast at McDonald's, it's the
way down the list.
What is the traditional
Egg McMuffin?
Egg McMuffin.
Yeah. Do you go sausage egg McMuffin or just egg McMuffin with the Canadian bacon?
I play the way it's lied.
Canadian bacon?
Yeah,
I like Canadian.
I'm not a McDonald's breakfast guy. I would rather have just a double cheeseburger.
Part of the 1.4%.
Yeah. Deltona woman was placed in handcuffs after an officer found human bones among her wares at an Orange City curio store, according to police department. In the affidavit, police said they received a complaint just days before Christmas in 2023 about how the store, dubbed Wicked Wonderland, was trying to sell bones. Now, according to police, the store had reportedly been advertising various human bones on its Facebook page, complete with pricing details. Investigators said they found the following human remains for sale on the store's website.
Can I see something in your femur department?
2 human skull fragments, $90. Human clavicle, $90. Human rib, $35. Human vertebrae, $35. Partial human skull, $600. Now, afterwards, officer went to the store, spoke with one of its owners, who started or stated that the business has been selling human bones for years, was unaware it was illegal to do so in Florida.
I too am shocked it's illegal in Florida.
That's Kimberly Scoper, the
owner of Wicked Wonderland.
52 years old, spelled Kymberlee.
Yeah,
Kimberly.
Her parents set her up for failure.
I bet she's changed it several times.
Forrester says it's a female Vern Troyer.
You're not wrong, Scott. You are not wrong.
She actually looks like somebody trying to peg it. Anyway,
that nose is bothering me.
One bone sample suggested an age of over 500 years for one of these. I guess it's better than like cold cases where you're turning up humans that have been missing.
That's true. Yeah,
that would bring Wicked Wonderland under a different line of discussion.
Yeah, at least Kimberly with her name misspelled isn't malicious. She just didn't know you're not supposed to sell human bones.
Well, Shopper here, who was listed as the store's primary owner, was ultimately arrested on Thursday night, now faces a charge of trading in human tissue. You never want that charge against you.
No.
I'm telling you, that would be a deal breaker on your dating app, wouldn't it? What were you arrested for in 2017? Dealing in human tissue.
That's going to get you every time right there.
I hate to tell you,
Boom.
LT, that nose would be a deal breaker. She'll want a different angle on her Tinder.
Her dent in the chin is not symmetrical, right? Like normally, if you have the dent in the chin, it's like dead middle. Hers is a little to the left.
She's got that frown upside down.
I think this is a dude, believe it or not.
Little Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I see some Chip Kelly.
That is
a
it.
good call. That's a good call.
We finally got there. It is Chip Kelly. Now, it's Chip Kelly before he ate all of Columbus, Ohio, but it is Chip Kelly.
Now, do you think Chip Kelly's ever dressed in drag?
I'm going to go no. I'm going to say Chip Kelly's never done that.
I don't know.
I heard he liked L.A.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. And don't forget, spring is here. So our friends at Hemp Hill is giving you an opportunity at a very, very discounted rate to check out your air conditioning unit and such.
Yeah, $1,000 off right now, plus 0% financing. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Inquire for more details. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right. Anybody got a final thought today? Anybody got anything you want to throw out there before we're done?
Pennant Grace coming up, talking about the Braves.
Yep. Winners last night. Austin Riley hit a couple of home runs. As they play in Toronto. By the way, reworked Sky Dome behind the plate.
I noticed that. Looks a lot better, doesn't it?
You still have a hotel up there?
They do.
I've been to Sky Dome. You really can't tell the dome's open. Does that make sense?
I understand.
The way it's built, even when the dome's open, you feel like you're in a dome.
Tampa Bay beat Boston yesterday 16-1, tying our franchise's largest margin of victory ever.
Congrats.
And a first ever in baseball. Pirates' Paul Skeens was the 2023 first-round draft pick. The catcher was Henry Davis. He was the 2021 first overall draft pick. It's the first time in Major League Baseball history that a pitcher-catcher were first overall picks in a draft. First time ever. Both for Pittsburgh there. Cleveland and Baltimore tonight, TBS, 6 o'clock. I've offered EG a trade in our fantasy baseball league. See if she takes it.
Who you trading?
I'm giving her Chris Sell if she'll give me Kyle Tucker. I think that's a fair trade. We'll see. Pennant Grace at 12:15. We're back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.